Welcome one and all to episode 42 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is July the 12th, 2020. I am Graham, the production editor of Megavision's. With me today we have Chris, the editor-in-chief of Megavision's magazine, and Scotty Moe, the managing editor of Megavision's magazine. Welcome, brothers. How are you?
Ready and willing.
Oh, yes. I am liking those glasses.
Got
Nobody's gonna
watching.
What?
No, I was just gonna say we just finished watching X-Men Apocalypse, and I don't know how to feel about that movie.
That's a movie that I forgot existed and happened.
Wow.
It happened.
I've seen that on an airplane, and that was good enough for me. Well, interestingly,
Good airplane movie.
You know, in airplane movies, they sometimes cut out bits for like nudity or swear words and stuff. Cyclops in that, does she have a bit of cleavage going on because they blurred out her chest slightly for the airplane version?
Cyclops is a guy.
Psylocke, sorry. I meant Psylocke, yeah.
That's Olivia Munn in this one.
But yeah.
Yeah, G4 TV.
They basically blurred out her breasts even though she was fully clothed. So that was a bit
I don't
curious.
remember noticing that.
But that was just for the airplane version. I don't know what the real version's like.
Maybe it was for the airplane version.
Yes.
It was just too
scantily. Oh yeah,
like clad or something.
Yeah. Anyway, how's it going, fellas?
So,
are you good?
Great. There's a dog on Chris's cam, and
Yep.
Do we want to mention to the listeners that we got a video of this now? Maybe
I know what's going on there. We now have a
Presumably.
video. So yeah, we're actually changing things up a bit. We had a little chat amongst ourselves, and we wanted to mix things up for the podcast. So we basically each week we cover Sega news and stuff, which we do on the website and through our magazine anyway. And there's plenty of other sources out there, you know, through social media and other great Sega fan sites out there. So we want to mix things up. We're still going to keep a core focus on Sega news and stuff, but we want to make things a little bit more, like spread our branches a little bit more. Talk about more other video games, other video game manufacturers and developers, maybe a bit about movies and TV shows that we've been watching, sort of a whole sort of array of media, especially during this like whole lockdown situation that the whole world's sort of in and out of, basically. Like, time to watch things on Netflix if you want to. We're going to give you some advice, some hot tips, as it were, and yeah. But we're still going to keep it about games, I think. There's a core focus. So
I'm wearing good
also have
sunglasses.
you two have got to keep talking over each other. It's been a while since you've done a video podcast,
to
Chris.
read when I'm about to talk so that you don't talk, and vice versa. I'm done with the glasses. I just wanted to keep Graham on his toes and help him to get into this.
It works. I
ring of
liked
things.
it. I liked it. Yeah. Annoyingly, my glasses are actually itching my nose, so I keep scratching my nose a little bit, which is also good for the camera. First time on camera for a while, so nice. Anyway, let's crack on with the show with our week. So, Chris, what have you been up to, buddy, other than watching X-Men Apocalypse? So, yeah.
Right. And not just X-Men Apocalypse. I have more to tell you guys about that later. So you guys know I retired from the Air Force finally. I've been talking about this for probably years now. Like in the old Sega Nerdcast, I'm sure there's a few episodes back then where I'm talking about like I can't wait until I can finally retire from the military in like 13 years. Well, the time's finally come. I was officially retired on July 1st. And earlier this past week, I went and got my military retiree ID card. So you get this like little green military retiree card, and it's get you onto all sorts of military bases if you want to go there. But it's just so weird looking down and seeing that card in my wallet and not my regular active duty military card that I've had for the last 20 years. It's just a really weird feeling. I'm still not, I don't think it's fully hit me yet that I'm retired and I don't have to go to work anymore. It's really weird. And I think part of it is just because I'm still in the same routine as I've been since like the quarantine really started, because the kids have been here with me since then because they haven't been going to school. So I've been, helping them with school, doing all that. And so now they're out of school, but they're still here, of course. And it's just this weird thing where we're trying to figure out routines and everything and make routines happen throughout the day. And it's a crazy time. But yeah man, I'm really excited. Apparently, I look like a Mexican outlaw from the Old West.
You do. You showed it to us. If we were to put a hat on you, you'd definitely look like you're on an outlaw poster. Wanted, dead or alive.
Diego actually did make one and put it in the Discord.
Yeah, it's okay, done.
Brilliant.
Aren't you part Mexican, though?
Yes, I'm half Hispanic. So technically,
Okay.
it's like I'm a quarter Mexican and a quarter Spanish because my grandfather was Spanish, my grandmother was Mexican.
Yeah.
So I just say half Hispanic. It just makes it easier that way.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so I don't think I've told this on the podcast, but over the past like actually since PlayStation View, since Sony announced that they're discontinuing PlayStation View earlier this year, I've been trying to
nobody
find.
but Chris remembers hard.
Oh, dude, PlayStation View was amazing. It was so cool. It was the only streaming thing. They call them like OTT. I forget what the stand. It's like over the something. It's like an OTT service essentially.
Over the top.
I don't think that's
over the top.
I don't think so.
Starring
Sylvester Stallone.
Starring Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Apparently, it does mean over the top media service.
Okay. Right. Score one for Scotty. And so anyway, I've been searching, like, because PlayStation View was perfect for me. Like, I loved it. It was the only service that could actually do picture-in-picture also. So you could basically, but the weird thing was, I think it only worked through a PlayStation 4.
Yep.
But anyway,
Sounds
so
right.
you could actually have, like, especially for, like, sports and stuff, if you're watching, like, NFL on a Sunday, you could actually have, like, 3 different games going at once. And you can pick the audio from each you want it to.
So it's like Back to the Future. Oh my god! Like Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Back to the Future 2. So...
Your
it's in the past
window
now
blind
because it's no more. Sony. I don't know if they sold it off or what, but anyway, they discontinued it. So then it got me like looking for another like service, and so I basically have been trying to try out different ones, and I'm going to talk about it more in depth later. But I'm trying out Sling TV right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have used that before, but so far so good. I'm actually kind of liking it.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, more to come later on in that, but that's pretty much what I've been up to this week.
Okay.
And that was always a thing very hard to promote or tell anyone about when working at GameStop, what PlayStation View was, because as a GameStop employee, you have presumably every console, and Netflix is on every console, and so it's like, if they don't want a PlayStation, then there goes that conversation. But nobody ever knew really what PlayStation View was.
Sony has this long history of coming out with these really great products, but a lot of times it's a product that doesn't really solve a problem, and so
Yeah, exactly.
there's that. But they're actually kind of cool. But it's either that or they just. I think it's confusing for the consumer. Like, so for PlayStation View, I think a lot of people, the way it was called PlayStation, people assume that you had to have a PlayStation to use it, which was not the case at all. They just should have called it Sony View. It would have been fine. Just eliminate the PlayStation aspect on it. It's Sony being Sony, man. Like, they're so bad about that stuff.
I guess
I think the best example of that. Oh, go ahead, Graham.
I was going to say the PlayStation brand is so strong that maybe they thought this will sell some units. But yeah, because maybe they wanted to appeal to gamers and media junkies or whatever.
But then it would have only appealed to gamers, not anyone else like they wanted it to. Like if they called it Sony View. I think the biggest thing they missed out on that they could have done a lot more with was when second screen experience was a thing, and they could have done that with the Vita. And the Vita was, you could pretty much use the Vita as a second controller for your PlayStation 4. And there were some games that did stuff with it, and like Microsoft did the Microsoft Glass with a bunch of games that But yeah, they could have. Man, I'm just bummed about the Vita more lately because I just recently bought a game for it. I guess.
I have mine right here.
There it is.
So
I love the Vita, but they've screwed up with the whole memory card thing on that because.
That was the biggest.
I've got like 4 games for my Vita because my memory card's filled up so bloody quickly. And it's just like they're so expensive to buy. I'm just like
$80 for the best one.
It's just like I can't afford to actually buy another one. It's ridiculous. It's like you're buying a game twice to play the same game. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The Vita, that's the thing. It was like with the Vita, or I'm sorry, the PSP. At least you could still use memory sticks, and so you had that. I mean, obviously the games themselves were on a proprietary like disc, but the memory card expansion, like you could, download games and put it on there and stuff, and then obviously when people hacked it, it made it super awesome and easy. But it seemed like they did like a 180 with that, from the PSP to the Vita, and it's one thing like if you come out with that proprietary memory and things like that, but if you're gonna do it, you have to make it price competitively to the other types of cards out on the market. So like micro SD cards and other things like that. It was so more expensive than anything else you could get out there. It's just it pissed me off, and so I refused to buy upgraded storage for that. I was like, I'm not going to give them my money for that. But I mean, there's tons of stuff that they screwed up with on the Vita. I mean, we could be here all day talking about that.
But it's such a good little system. It's probably one of my, outside of the Game Gear, it's my favorite handheld. So it's so good, so much better than the 3DS and stuff. Like I love my 3DS, but the Vita was miles ahead in terms of everything.
I would have loved to seen what Sony could have done with like a Vita 2, and just seeing how it would have continued to evolve and stuff. There was just, I don't know. If I keep talking about it, I'm going to make myself mad.
Okay.
They screwed it up so bad. So, lastly, I got health insurance again. So, when you're in the military, it's something you really don't have to worry about because the military gives you health insurance. Ooh. And you have really good health insurance. You don't pay anything for it. I think for my family, I was paying like $15 a month for health insurance for my whole family, and then like $30 for dental and stuff. And so now that I'm out, I had to figure out what insurance I'm going to get. And so thankfully, because I'm a military retiree, I could still keep TRICARE Prime, which was technically what I was on before. And except now I have to pay a little bit more money. It's still not that much. I think it's about $50 a month or so.
Okay.
And then
okay.
What?
I was going to say, we don't have to start talking about what we pay for health insurance because that could be a whole other podcast too.
Yeah, it's just, I just wanted to say, like, I know a lot of people, like, it sucks because people are paying so much for health insurance. It's ridiculous. And so it sucks that people are having to pay so much money for it.
As a complete outsider to the US, can I just ask, roughly, how much does health insurance normally cost people? Because I've been told it's really expensive.
There's no answer for that.
Okay.
It is all over the place.
Wow. Are we talking like hundreds of dollars a month or?
Oh, it could be that. It could be thousands.
Really? Oh my God.
It could be over $1,000 a month.
Jeez.
Probably if you're someone who's like elderly and has a history of medical conditions and things like that. So you're probably an at-risk type of like customer, I guess.
It's not just that. I don't
want to. Scotty's shaking his head a little bit.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about my job.
Okay, wait till shop.
I'll say one other thing. Thanks to, I'm pretty sure Obama did it. Was when they raised the, I guess the maximum age where a parent can have their child still on their insurance plan.
Oh yeah.
And so I think before it was like 18, and now I believe it's like mid-20s or something like that.
Okay.
26. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something. So.
All this is fascinating to me because we do have private health insurance in the UK. It's I know a couple of people are on it. It's like £40-60 a month or something. So not terrible, but because we get free health insurance, like healthcare, it's paid. It's in our taxes, so it's technically not free. But it's not. This is a weird thing for us. The whole American medical insurance and
it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, we
You
won't
guys
go
also
into
have like 7 people in your country, whereas we have like 5 billion. Probably a little more
your,
complicated.
your numbers are accurate.
That number's
though.
getting taken care of real quick over here too, and that's our doing as well. But that's besides the point.
It's not much better over
Scotty!
here, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, Scotty, moving on. What have
Oh
you been
yeah,
up to, my
great
friend?
transition. Because I went to Walmart recently, and we're all gonna fucking die.
Oh,
No, no, I went to Walmart yesterday for the first time during quarantine, and I have, guys. COVID's not going to end anytime soon because of how goddamn stupid this country is. We're talking about a dude walking around with a carton of iced tea and his mustache just down on his chin, just gulping it. I think that was an employee. It was a 50-50 shot that an employee had their mask on all the way. Most of the dads around, they had it down to their nose, and I'm just like, that's not how, I don't know. Can we go home, please? Because I'm getting stressed out just being here. But it's just so many noses, and it was horrible. But outside of that, positive things with the quarantine, I've been since I have less access to my drums, I've been learning more songs on the guitar. I'm not that great at guitar, but I've been learning. I try to learn a song a week or every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I have a little bit of a handicap with my. Oh, we can show the viewers now. My left ring finger does not straighten all the way, and
Oh,
I
wow.
cannot make a complete fist with it. So that makes bar chords and different things a little difficult on the guitar, but I'm learning to get around that
Now,
stuff.
is that an old
Do you guys want
gaming
to hear the
injury?
story of how I did that?
I was
No,
imagining if it.
definitely not.
Okay, it's not a gaming
No,
industry. Okay.
it's an idiot teenager injury.
Please tell.
So when I was walking home from school, I live close to my high school, so I always walked home, and I always wore skater shoes as a kid, and those are flat. And when you're walking on ice, I thought it'd be really cool to try to like slide down this part of the trail, and I slid, and my buddy was there with me, and I caught myself on a fence nearby. And not even a fence; it was literally posts and a chain link, and then posts and like one chain rope, and then a post. And so I tried to catch myself, but instead of catching myself, it hit my finger, and it literally bent it back to touch my hand.
Ah! Ah!
So I didn't feel anything, and I just knew it didn't look right. So what did I do? I taped a little wrench to it, and we went to the mall that night. The next day, I got it checked out at the doctor because I'm a goddamn idiot. I had essentially almost nearly shattered all the bones in this knuckle.
Ooh.
And so I had to go to occupational therapy for it for a while. And I just worked on straightening it out and doing whatever to it. And if I hold it for a while, I can make a complete fist. I just slacked off on that. I was a stupid high schooler. But so I don't. This isn't going to pick up, but there's a scar right there because they had to cut it open to do some stuff, and then put pins in it, and then cut it open on the side to take the pins out. So like when it gets cold, my finger changes colors because of the scar tissue.
Oh, wow.
And it's still pretty sensitive. Like if I ding it off something for a split
Oh.
second, it's the worst pain in the world. But then it'll go away. But it's still like, oh yeah, I broke that finger. Oh,
God.
But so with that, it's a little
How
harder to do some chords on guitar.
It's like finger starts getting achy and stuff. Oh,
Yeah, it starts to tingle. My
Man.
storm senses. Yeah, that's my fun dumb pass. That's the only bone I broke my pinky, and those are the only bones I've broken, despite some of the dumb things I've done. So yeah, but what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I don't play drums as much right now, so I'm playing guitar. Got to do something. I'm kind of trying to work up my way to have enough courage to do a stream of an acoustic set. And that's a combination of things like, for instance, the guitar I have is not the best acoustic, but it's Rachel's, and for any musicians listening, the action is really high, and I don't feel comfortable taking it somewhere to get it repaired right now and having someone handle it.
Hmm.
Not repaired because it's not broken, but to get it fixed. So the strings are higher up, so it's harder for me to press down on them. It's whatever, but so that's something. But it's really awesome to be at home and working because I can just like my guitar, my cool. Oh, you guys can also see my cool dumb like stickers because I've had this since I was like 17. So it's really neat to put punk rock stickers on your guitar and stuff. But But so it's really nice to have that right next to me and just play a little bit while I'm waiting on something at work, or it gives me an excuse to stand up and play the guitar rather than sitting in my seat all day. But yeah, that's kind of what my life is. And today they came in. I bought 2 brand new monitors, and I went from these stupid little, not almost 4x3, like 17-inch monitors to 2 24-inch wide screens, and it's amazing. It's so good, and now it feels like I have, despite the fact that I've had this computer for almost 3 years, now it feels like I have a new computer because I had those were, I mean, thank
Time to
you.
upgrade your computer now, Scotty.
Yeah, the whole thing. But shouts out to my buddy Alex who gave me 2 free monitors. They got me through 2 years. So, and then lastly, I did an unboxing randomly of Xenocrisis on the Dreamcast.
Nice.
I unboxed that one because I bought that physically on Dreamcast because it was a little cheaper, and then after the fact found out that it can use the crazy Virtual On twin sticks. So
Oh, man.
I need to stream that soon using it. But my unboxing videos are just another release, and it was fun to do that again. So I might start doing those more. I just don't buy physical news. So when I get a physical game, like before that one, the most recent physical thing I bought was Monkey Island on PS4 through limited run. So that's not like a new release, but maybe I should just unbox for the sake of unboxing.
Yeah, I think those
but,
limited run
trying to get-
games, especially,
Yeah, they're good. I'll grab it for our listeners because they'll appreciate how they packaged this one, though. Because Monkey Island is in the long box,
Ooh, nice.
like it was on Sega CD and everything.
Excellent.
So it's pretty cool. But
I think that, because don't you remember when Josh was talking? This was years ago, I think, before they started doing these Sega CD boxes, about how they basically ordered a bunch of Sega CD cases and they were going to sell them on their website. And I think instead they had a better idea and decided to start using them for limited edition releases and stuff like that. Before we move on, I did want to say, Scotty, about Xenocrisis. I just found out that they're also bringing Xenocrisis to Neo Geo, and I was
oh yeah,
and so I messaged them on Twitter. I'm like, hey, what about like the MVS? Are you guys going to have an actual version for that? And they are, and it's up for pre-order right now. I want to say it's like $150 though.
Sure is.
I really want to get it though. Like,
yeah, you and Anti-Chris are both insane.
Really bad. I want to buy
it. They released it. They released it physically on Genesis and Mega Drive, and on AVS and MVS, Dreamcast, and just recently it went up for sale on PlayAsia for Vita. So I actually grabbed that because it includes the soundtrack, which I already have, but I just really wanted a Vita game. And the Vita game soundtrack, limited edition, numbered for like $35. So I was like, okay, special edition of a Vita game for one of the last Vita games. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I like that game a lot too.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
What about you, Graham?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I haven't been doing too much. I did go to a supermarket today for the first time in a very long time, actually. Just had to pop in to do a couple. I had to return one of the Ring Fits that I bought. The one that didn't go to you, Scotty.
Wait, a supermarket?
Yeah. So the games, the place I bought it from is a place called this long, complicated thing. There's a place called Argos over here, which sells almost everything. Here's the thing, but for people who don't know about Britain or England, Argos was the internet before the internet. It was like the Amazon before the internet existed.
How do you spell that?
ARGOS. Yeah. So
why did you take it back?
Okay, so I've got my own one. I've sent one to Scotty, but
I'm trying to get one.
Chris, you should have told me, Gunter.
I didn't know you had an extra one.
Yeah.
We were speaking about it in the chat because was it oh wait, was it Brett who wanted the other one? I've forgotten now. Corey, yeah.
Corey is the reason that Rachel and I got a Switch, and that's practically a therapeutic thing right now during quarantine. And so I wanted to pay him back because he's been looking for a Ring Fit for a while, And then Graham, I think we mentioned this on here, but
Yeah.
long story short is Graham was like, "Look what I've been doing." I'm like, "How the fuck did you get a ring fit you? How many goats did you sacrifice?" He's like, "Oh, they're just over here, like in the whatever." I'm like, "I'm gonna DM you real quick and then ask you to get one for us." And it was so easy, so I was like, "Could you get one for Corey?" And I could send that to him as like a thank you. And he got two, but Corey found one just walking into Walmart and back in Arkansas.
So I took one back today, literally today.
Do you want to
to
go
Argos.
back to the store later, Graham?
if you really want one, I can go and get another one.
I'm not going to make you go back. I'll find one eventually. But I was trying to get one on Amazon and just try to. I found one at a Target like an hour away from me, and I was going to go there and get it, but it ended up selling out before I came to the house.
Yeah,
I don't know when they'll come back.
The thing is, over here, they're limiting one stock per customer. So the place I got my original one from, I couldn't get another order from because it's tied to this address. So the thing about Argos is they've got an online website which I ordered Scotties through. And then you can also do a pick up and collect sort of like order. So I did another order where I didn't log into the site. I sort of paid the money up front and I got like a number and basically went to the store and got it basically. But yeah, Argos is one of those places that sells like almost anything basically. And before the internet existed, you'd walk into the store, they have a big catalogue of stuff, and like there's like the
a physical book.
Like a physical book, which they also had ones you could take home and stuff. So you could be at home at Christmas time. It was always exciting. Like your parents would have, here's the Argos catalogue. What would you like this Christmas? Like, so you open that and like,
got like Toys R Us and stuff too. Like,
Sears catalog.
Yeah, Sears was awesome.
But Toys R Us, you know, you go into the shop and they've got all the stuff on the stock. Well, they don't anymore, but when they existed, you had everything on the shelves and stuff. Argos,
How dare you?
Argos wasn't like that. Argos was the almost opposite of any other shop ever. You walk into the shop, they've got like all these magazines, catalogs out on display, which have like plastic bindings on them, so you can't like ruin them or rip them out. You then find the code you want, and originally, like more modern day ones, you've actually got computer screens like iPads to type in the product to do a stock check yourself and also put the order in. But before, you have a little piece of paper, you write down the numbers you want of the products you want. You go up to a till and go, these are the things I want. They go, okay, they type it in, and they will double check the stocks in there and stuff. And then they'd say, okay, that will be X money. And then you pay them, and then you go round the corner to like a area where they've got seats. And then you wait, and basically it's a big warehouse at the back, and magically from nowhere, these little elves would come out and like deliver your package. And they go, customer number 56, come to checkpoint A, and then you walk up, and they check your ticket. They go, here's your stuff, and you walk out. And it was amazing. It was like basically it's the internet before the internet, and it's just no other shop's ever done it like that. But
that's weird that didn't catch on.
It's just it's like Argos like, we're going to do it this way. We think shops should be like this, and every other shop went, nope. Like
there was something. It wasn't exactly like that, but Scotty, did you guys ever have like it's called like service merchandise when you were a kid?
The phrase sounds familiar, but I don't know if I took part in it.
Yeah, it was like a kind of like a department store, but you would go and I don't know how you do it. Like, I guess you'd have some sort of like tags that each product would have, and I'm trying to remember exactly. And then you'd go like to check out, but there was like this big long conveyor belt, and your stuff would come out on the conveyor belt, and so you'd like buy it, and then I guess some people in the back in like a stock room would just go put it on the belt, and then your order would come out, and it would just be there, and you pick it up and walk out.
Oh, that's the name of the store.
Yeah, service merchandise was the actual name of the place itself.
Huh.
Man.
Yeah, we had like one growing up near us.
Oh, it looks like they filed for bankruptcy back in 2002.
Oh wow, I'm surprised it lasted that long.
Yeah, I mean, what you just described.
I'm not trying to talk shit.
What you both kind of described is almost how wedding registries work anymore. When you walk into a store and if they have a computer for that, you just look up if it's in the store and then be like, where is this thing? And you either tell someone to go get it for you or you find it yourself and then go pay for it. But...
Okay. Nice.
Argos.
Anyway, Argos.
Argos will get it for you.
Argos is
Argos has that in stock. Sorry, they sound like a giant cyclops or something.
It's the name of some sort of like Greek god or something, because my brother named his dog that.
Okay, I found
Hercules'
it.
brother.
Okay, yep. Oh, dude, I was close but way off. Argus Panoptus, or Argos, was a 100-eyed giant in Greek mythology. He
Wow.
was a giant, the son of Arestor, whose name Panoptus meant the all-seeing one. He was a servant of Hera. One of that were given to him was to slay the fearsome monster Echidna, wife of Typhon, which he successfully completed.
Wow.
He killed Knuckles' parents. There you go.
Man.
There's your Greek corner.
Greek mythology is amazing. I love it. Anyway, the reason why I had to go into a supermarket.
Oh yeah, right.
That's how this whole thing started. The reason I had to go to a supermarket was because there's a big supermarket chain over here called Sainsbury's, and they own Argos now. They bought them out a few years ago, and so some of these bigger Sainsbury's like supermarkets have an Argos within them, like a little area that you go to because they don't need as much space. That's the great thing about them, and they use the same warehouse as like the supermarket does. And yeah, anyway, so I went into the supermarket. Gave the Ring Fit back. I sort of said, "Oh yeah, I bought this for someone, but they've already got it. So can I have my money back?" And they're like, "Yes, please stand behind the line because you're too close to me." Like, okay. COVID. I forgot about social distancing.
That doesn't happen in this goddamn country. No one would ask you that in this fucking stupid country to step back from the counter. No one. They'll just be like, "All right, whatever. Here's your mocha stump. Then fucking pull your mask down and expose all of us so you can have your caffeine fix, you goddamn idiot." And I had Fortnite or something. I don't know. I hate everything.
I felt kind of embarrassed because I had to step forward to actually hand her my thing because I had to step over the line, and I sort of stood there and she asked me for the receipts. I started putting up on my phone and she's like, "Oh, could you stand back, please?" Like kind of afraid that she wanted to ask me. And I was like, "Oh God, yes, sorry." And I had to sort of run back like 10 feet and go, "Hi." Yeah, anyway. And then I went into the supermarket and it was dead. Like there was no one in there. It was really weird. It's like shopping in a zombie apocalypse at the moment. It's very strange. Although I keep hearing most people go shopping at the moment in all the big queues, and I had nothing today. There's like 4 other people in the supermarket. Anyway,
I don't know.
That's by the by. So that was one vaguely interesting thing that happened to me this week. And the other thing is, I finally got my hands on a Striker DC controller, Dreamcast controller by Retro Fighters. Nice. Yes. So
it looks like it's made of clay.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's actually pretty solid. So I've actually done an unboxing and a review of this, a video review. So I'm still in the process of editing it, but hopefully expect it on the website very soon. Should I give some initial thoughts now, or should we wait for the review?
Can I see the triggers?
Yeah. Oh,
I
just dropped down my computer.
And now it's broken. Okay, they are wider. Okay. Wow, okay. They look like actual triggers.
Yeah, it feels good. I lost mine. I don't know where it's
at. Is it in the lockup? Is it in the lockup?
Not even. I got one of those too. Just I lost mine.
God damn it! It came in the mail. I took it out of the box, played with it for a few seconds. Like, oh, that feels pretty good. Put it back in, and I put it in my closet. And it was like right before I started moving everything to the storage unit, and I actually went over there specifically to go get it because I wanted to try Xenocrisis with it, and I couldn't fucking find it. So I don't know where that thing is anymore. It's
That's
around
annoying.
somewhere.
Did you leave it in the box? Because you might have like tucked it away, still in the box somewhere.
I put it back in the box, yeah, and I was just looking for the box, and I could not find it.
Yeah. It's funny actually mention the triggers, Scotty, because there's actually in the video I bring up something about the triggers, which I'm not going to say on the show, just to entice people to watch the video. But yeah, there's a thing I talk about the triggers with.
I literally have a Dreamcast controller. Hold yours up and we'll compare right now. There's the triggers for that. Look at those beefy things to wrap your fingers on. Yeah, those look much better. And just like I'm sure you did this, but
I don't understand why they didn't just add a second analog.
Is it the exact same start button?
No, the start button. Well, the start button is the same sort of triangular shape.
It looks identical.
It's actually shallower. You don't know if you can see that. It's actually really shallow.
Oh, I do see that. Okay,
that's another thing I mentioned in my video. Yeah, and they've also got they've got the turbo and the clear button as well, which is 2 other extra buttons, and they've got L and R bumpers as well as the triggers.
Oh. I didn't know that.
See, yeah, and that's my point. That goes back to what I was saying. Like, if you're going to go add more buttons, why not just throw in an extra analog stick? Because here's the thing. we understand it's not going to work on existing games, but
Right.
you'd allow developers to add in an option in games where you can go in and set, like, you have a third-party controller that has dual analog sticks. So for something like Xeno Crisis, you can actually use dual analog sticks in that.
That would be pretty cool.
It would make for shooter. It would completely change the game for like first-person shooters on the Dreamcast, because it's practically unplayable for a lot of those games. It's such a bad experience.
Yeah, and the thing is though, they could actually have it, because basically these bumper triggers, they actually mimic what the LNR triggers do. So for fighting games, that's what they're basically there. You can't actually program to do anything else. They actually mimic what's there already. So the analog stick, if they had one on this side, it could mimic what this analog stick does. So for first-person shooters, you could have it so that you are using the D-pad to move, and then the analog stick maybe to look, which is what more modern layouts do. So you could actually do that, I reckon. So I reckon they could actually put that in and make that work. And as you say, Chris, for more other like new games,
Mega controller.
Release a mega controller, did you just say?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, they could do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, expect a review of that on the website, hopefully very soon, once I've done editing, because I forgot how long editing takes, because I had this great idea for the video, and it might be too much, but we'll see. Anyway, cool.
What program are you using for editing?
Premiere Pro, Adobe.
Okay, so have you tried Premiere Rush?
I've never even heard of that.
It's a new like program that Adobe's come out with, and the idea is it strips out a lot of like the more high end like tools and stuff that like real like legit editors need and stuff, and gives you more of a streamlined experience. But I used it to make Jamie's birthday video a few weeks back, and it was so easy. Saves to the cloud and stuff, and when you're done, you just export it, and you don't even have to like worry about saving it locally, because it's all saved in the cloud with every step that you do. If you have like an Adobe CC like license, I would just download it and check it out, because I still suck at Premiere. I'm not good with it, but I was able to get up and running with Rush like in a few minutes.
Okay.
And it's really easy. I mean, it has most of the major stuff that you need to be able to do, and it has like drag and drop functionality with like different files, like audio, video, all sorts of stuff. So if you're looking to just get something out in kind of a quick manner, and you're not looking to like do a lot of like crazy stuff, I was just try that.
Okay, I may have a look at that then. That's awesome. Good tip. Nice.
It also has faster cars, and the arcade port is great. San Francisco Rush.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, got it.
I wasn't going to give you
I need my drums right here.
Oh dear. Okay.
My last note on the fighter pad, the fight Pro, the Dreamcast controller you just showed us. I do want one of those, but if I got one, I'd have to have 4 altogether. So I'm stopping myself, you know.
And I will say,
I feel like if one person had them with people over, I feel like if one person had it, they'd have some unfair advantage, and it would just be like first grade all over again. We're like, I want that controller.
We'll have to wait for Graham's review.
Yeah, you have to wait for my review.
True.
You might be better off with just keeping your regular controller, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say that is slightly annoying for people, especially outside the US, is that the shipping on this is actually quite expensive. It's like about $20, but it's not like shipping per order. Basically, it's per unit. So if I was to order 2 of these, it's like $40
what the
shipping.
Fuck? Jeez,
so it's because I was going to order 2. And I was like, I can't really afford to order 2 because the shipping is really expensive. And that's like the lowest price shipping as well.
Yeah, and I will say this, like for people that are pissed off at that, like I ship worldwide with Megavisions, and like I think we charge $15 to ship an international order, but just shipping one issue to the UK is about $18.
Ooh.
So we're actually we're actually losing some money for on shipping and stuff for every issue that we sell worldwide, because it's just shipping. It's so insanely expensive to get stuff international. It sucks.
It is annoying.
Even in Canada is really expensive for some reason. It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy I ordered it and stuff, but yeah, that's just one thing. Like, if I did need to order 4, I'd be like, ooh, I need to actually.
They
maybe
should be able to combine shipping and give you some. You should be able to get some sort of discount. I mean, that's what big retailers do. You know, like if you're doing that, like you'll be able to combine shipping and get some sort of discount on it. Because shipping 4 of those there's no way that's going to cost $80 just in shipping.
Yeah.
For them, it's not going to. I can't imagine it would be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
And that's on top of the $50 price tag of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 49.
I just looked that up. I was looking that up.
Yeah.
They even have a thing on their site that says, or 4 interest-free payments of $12.50 by QuadPay.
Let's do that with an issue of Megavisions. Like, we'll set up a QuadPay thing, and they could just 4 easy payments of like $2.50.
That could work. Some people might go for that.
Totally.
Okay, so now on to the mailbag. Scotty Mo, what's in the mail sack this week?
Now everyone can see the mailbag that I would use to unzip.
It's a real thing.
So we'll go ahead and unzip her, and then we'll see what we got in the mailbag this week.
What?
Nothing, because nobody asked anything.
Ah.
That's fine.
The first week we can actually show it, and no one's actually asked us anything. Is that irony? I'm not sure. Probably not. But yeah, just bad luck, I guess. Okay,
yeah, everything's fine, honey. That was just me dropping stuff. Sorry.
And now you've got Scotty in trouble. Ah, brilliant. So if you do have any questions for us for the show or anything, yeah, just send them in on our social channels. We're on things.
Surf Ninjas?
Yeah, that was the thing. One of them that fell in my lap. I do have the Game Gear version of Surf Ninjas.
Excellent.
That's not,
there's a video review in there, I think.
Oh God. My review will just be go watch the movie.
And then play the game.
Yeah, but we need like 1,800 words, Scotty.
Yeah.
So just try to stretch that a little bit.
Yeah, just
copy and paste.
Okay, so ever since we don't have any questions, let's go with the news. So we're actually mixing up the news a little bit. What we're going to do is we're each going to pick 2 news stories that we've heard this week. So that could be anything from entertainment. So video games, movies, TV shows, something we're all interested in, to spread out the conversation a little bit. And yeah, bring some different news to you guys who are watching or listening. So yeah, let's, Scotty, my friend, would you like to take it away?
Yes. I found out that Comic-Con is happening at home this year, and they released their panel schedule, and it is massive. So also with Comic-Con, just get ready for general crazy announcements of toys and collectibles. I do still plan on getting those dumb Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shell toys.
Oh, you are going to get them.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not going to try super hard, but I'll be on Target's website that day. But honestly, though, it's kind of cool with some of these at-home conventions because people can actually see all the different panels that are happening, realistically anyway, as opposed to maybe being there or trying to keep up with stuff online. But yeah, so they said that on that side of things, I think it's awesome. I pasted the list here. I don't know if you guys saw anything that caught your eyes right away, but it's Thursday, July 23rd through. There even is a panel on Sunday with Looney Tunes, but mainly the big bulk of it is the 23rd of July through the 25th of July. But it's got a lot, and they were saying how Disney Plus is going to announce some stuff, Marvel's going to announce some stuff. That's one and the same. But I'll toss a couple out there. There's something with Star Trek Universe, Crunchyroll, Wonder Woman, Superstars of the Paranormal. That's apparently a Travel Channel thing. There's new stuff for the Boys have a panel.
I see His Dark Materials.
Superstore does. Wow.
I
literally just noticed
15th anniversary reunion with Keanu Reeves on Saturday. That is awesome.
He's going to be there for that, and also Bill and Ted 3.
Yes.
What?
Oh God, I can't wait.
Yeah, I just noticed this
Oh,
now,
Agents of Shield.
and Rachel and I have been watching the show Superstore. Apparently, they have a panel, so that's cool. And there's an MST panel. I'm very excited for all this now. Did you see? There's a Shudder
Farscape,
one
too.
as well. Yeah. I guess Shudder has a documentary coming out called. Oh no, the panel's called Horror is Queer. But they have a lot of LGBTQ documentary coming up, I guess, which I didn't even know about, but that's really cool.
They actually have it's pretty neat on Shudder. You can actually they have like a whole section of I think they actually call it like queer horror or something like that in the channel. But it looks actually like some pretty interesting stuff. I haven't like really watched too much of it yet, but Shudder is an amazing service if you are a horror fan. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one thing that
We're
just
gonna
jumped
try to
out
get
at
that
me.
soon.
On Saturday, Farscape to be continued.
I said that. Yeah,
I didn't hear that. Apologies, I didn't hear that. That didn't come out for when you said that.
Farscape is awesome.
I love
Here's
Farscape.
what we'll do.
It's so good.
I'll go through and say some things I'm interested, and then Graham can, and then Chris can, so that we don't keep talking over each other.
Sorry.
I just noticed the MST thing that's really cool. I think it's hilarious that there are 2 Walking Dead panels. Bob's Burgers, there's a Simpsons one. I mentioned Bill and Ted, even a Sailor Moon, like stuff all over the place though, which is really cool. And it's going to be exciting. Graham, what did you find that caught your eye in that panel listing?
Okay, I guess I mentioned a couple of them already, but the His Dark Materials. I'm a big fan of the Philip Pullman books. They made a terrible movie many years ago called The Golden Compass, which is based on the franchise. The books are brilliant though, so good. So and I know there is a TV show. But yeah, I haven't actually seen it. I don't know if it's a British. I don't know if this might be the same thing as the British one. So pretty sure there's a British one that's out, which is really good. But anyway, so I don't know if it's talking about that or something. What else did I just see? Charlize Theron, Evolution of a Badass, an action hero career retrospective. That sounds interesting. Don't know about you guys. I'm kind of interested.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm hoping Charlize Theron is there, but who knows?
It sounds like it's just chronicling her career, and she's done like lots of. She's had an awesome career. I really respect her.
She's an amazing actress. I think she's brilliant. And the final one, I guess, the one that's really jumped at me is Farscape to be continued, because I loved Farscape back in the day. The only other show I think I love as much is Firefly, which, sadly, wow. I mean, some people seem to hate Firefly. I think it's brilliant, but yeah. Anyway, Chris, what did you like out of those ones, I guess?
Like you, Farscape is I'm really interested in that. Shudder has some cool stuff. The Bill and Ted, Face the Music, and the Constantine panels.
Nice.
Awesome to me. So hopefully I'll remember and watch it. But I won't be surprised if I completely forget. And just I imagine most of this stuff's going to be on YouTube, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, I've just seen The Order season 2 to 3. I've actually been watching The Order on Netflix. I love it. It's not amazing, but I still really enjoyed it. But yeah. Okay.
Something's going on with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting.
To no surprise to anyone, the only thing I know about Farscape is commercials I saw on Sci-Fi when Sliders was on Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that lots of stuff going on though, and surprisingly, some companies actually backed out of Comic-Con even with this digital stuff. So there was going to be even more somehow.
Wow.
But that there's always. Normally, I forget that Comic-Con is even happening because there's like one in every state now, but also the big ones like this, I forget until someone's like, did you see what DLC is coming to this game that they announced at Comic-Con and tie with the movie? I'm like, what? Oh, Comic-Con. And then it's like, blah, flood of announcements for games and other stuff. So it's always exciting. So probably lots of stuff will come out of that. My other little tidbit of news was that Limited Run Games did their LRG3 presentation. Instead of E3, they have LRG3, which is where they basically just announce everything they have coming up in the year, the different deals they've struck. Some Sega mentions on there was Space Channel 5 VR is coming physically. There's a Grandia collection. Mega Dimensions Neptunia is getting a launch on Switch, I believe, and then also Secret of Monkey Island Collection is coming out. I think that was PS4 and I believe Switch as well. I forget now.
That's interesting.
I didn't put the list in here. If you guys want to click on the link, you can go check out everything that's on there. For me personally, some stuff that I do plan on grabbing, Return to the Obra Dinn looks really cool, and I haven't played it yet, but I feel like Switch would be a better fit than PC because I want to play that with Rachel. It reminds me of a game that, if anyone will have heard of it, it'll probably be Graham, because I feel like you know games that no one else knows that I mention a lot of times. But have you guys ever played the game Echo Knight on PS1?
No, PlayStation 1 games I'm actually not very familiar with, I have to admit. I was very late getting a PlayStation 1. I think I got a PS1 after I got my Dreamcast. Maybe even after I got my Xbox, actually.
Okay.
I got an Xbox and PS2 before I got a PS1. I just remembered. I got my PS1 secondhand for a friend. I was just not interested in the PlayStation 1.
It sounds like you kind of went through the PS1 how I did the 2. I got the PS2 after a roommate was moving out, and he just gifted it to me, and so I've not really sat down with anything on PS2. But no, Echo Knight on PS1 was a mystery game, like you talk to ghosts and stuff on a ship, and that's sort of what Obra Dinn is. You're an insurance salesman. I forget the whole thing, but it's a cool mystery type talking adventure game.
That's the one with that weird. It's almost like dot art or whatever. What do you call that? It's like not dot matrix, but It the visuals look amazing on that game. I haven't really seen a game like that, I don't think.
And but some other ones that I'm probably going to grab that they announced was a Super Meat Boy Forever, probably physically on PS4, and then also a game that really looks like The Thing, the video game, called Carrion. Have you seen that videos of that game, Chris? Because I think you'd get into that too.
No, I don't think so. I thought I saw it. I must have just missed that.
It was announced a while ago, but the physical release was not until this thing. I can, if you find it's through Devolver Digital, so you know it's weird and cool. But yeah, those ones I'm probably going to pick up. Crazily, they are also re-releasing the first Shantae game on a Game Boy Color cartridge. Also,
wow,
they've done a lot with Shantae. They're insane. And one last thing I'll say about it, and we can all kind of talk about the list of stuff. Apparently, they do have one more announcement that didn't get finalized legally before the whole presentation, so they have that in the pipeline pretty soon as well. Something that people did care a lot about that I'm indifferent on is they're doing the Castlevania collection. Physically is getting released, the anniversary collection to Switch and PS4.
Okay.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Anything else you see on there that you want to grab?
I'll let you go first, Graham.
I mean, Episode 1 Racer, Pod Racer. I love that. Star Wars.
I knew you were going to say that one, yeah.
It's so good. And Secret Monkey Island, I'm a big fan of the old Monkey Island games. I think they're really good. Yeah, to be honest, I like the Shantae games, but Game Boy Color? Really?
Yeah. Well, they are doing other Shantae stuff. Risky's Revenge is getting a Switch release, and that Game Boy Color game's also getting a Switch release. But and I want to correct myself because you mentioned Monkey Island. That's a PC re-release somehow. But they did a Command and Conquer Collector's Edition, so they're probably going to do a Collector's Edition with this somehow as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just out of curiosity, like
on there.
With these, is this actually the remastered version where it's got like the updated graphics, but you could switch back to the old graphics, or do you know
which game?
Sorry, the Monkey Island.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And let's see if it does anything for this.
Just wondering if it's like the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, which were really good. Like they did such a good job of that. Although weirdly for Monkey Island 2, they screwed up the controls. Well, I say screwed up. They changed controls and they made it really hard to do stuff. So I wasn't a fan, and it instantly turned me off. The first one though was brilliant. Secret Monkey Island is the first one, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to quickly Google that.
I don't think there is a change the graphics button.
Oh, okay. So is it just like the original then?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. Secret of Monkey Island is the first one. By the looks of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, so it's probably just up-resed and doesn't look all pixelated and stuff. Kind of how they did.
Has it got voice? Has it got voice acting? Full voice acting?
I don't know.
Say on the box?
You're asking me a lot of questions.
You've got the game in your hand, man.
It doesn't say anything about voice acting. It has like an old back thing to it. I just wanted to get it to play an adventure game,
Okay, because yeah,
and not sit in front of my computer because I'm weird like that.
the special edition on Xbox and PS3, that they actually had full voice acting for the entire game, which I thought was awesome. Basically, it's made the game really,
Okay.
really good. I mean, the game was really good, but it just, yeah, they did a really brilliant job with that. But yeah, Chris, anything there that you? Oh, actually, one question there. Actually, Extreme Sports. That's not the Dreamcast Extreme Sports, is it?
No,
I screamed when I saw this. I was like,
I
"Oh my
did
god!"
too.
I just
did too. I
noticed
saw
it
that.
there. Oh.
I was just like, "There's no way that's what game they're re-releasing. Why would anyone need that right now?"
Everyone needs that game. It's one of my favorite games. Okay, probably not one of my favorite games, but I do love that game a lot. I thought it was great for its time. But yeah, that's also on the Game Boy
Way
Color.
Forward's game. Oh my god, that's getting a Game Boy Color release as well.
So definitely can't
like a cartridge.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing. They're insane.
Wow,
Insane, and I love them. I love Limited Run.
So Chris, sorry, out of that list, is there anything that you like the look of?
The one that really stuck out to me that I got really excited about is the Grandia HD collection. I remember back in the day, I would get into like flame wars with people on the old Sega forums arguing, and this is so stupid, but we would argue over which was the better Dreamcast RPG between Skies of Arcadia and Grandia.
Skies of Arcadia.
I always said Grandia 2 was the better one. And I still stick to that today. I enjoy Grandia 2 better. I think the combat system is a lot more fun.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed the battles in Grandia 2, whereas in Skies of Arcadia, if they weren't like the awesome like ship battles and stuff, I just kind of got tired of them.
Okay, that's fair. I can understand that.
I did watch the Carrion trailer. That looked pretty cool. It looked like that one old like was it PC game, but it was released on everything where you're like, forget the name of it. It's set like was it like Flashpoint or Flash? God damn it, I can't remember the name of it.
Alone in the Dark. Not at all.
That's how I feel right now, trying to figure this game out. But no, that looks cool. Grandia HD collection, like I said, that's my biggest one. A Boy and His Blob looked pretty cool. I love that original one on the NES. Had a lot of fun with that, renting that back in the day.
Yeah, this one was the one that was on Wii, I think.
Were you talking about Flashback for the Carrion?
Yes.
Game? Okay.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't seen the picture. I just looked at some screens of Carry On because I wanted to double check. But yeah, Flashback. Yeah.
Does it kind of remind you guys of that too? Just the way he kind of runs and how he's.
I can see that.
Pulled back a little bit further than your standard kind of side scrolling.
Yeah, kind of. The lighting effects and stuff. It looks a lot dark, like darker, like more grotesque. If that makes sense. Like. Yeah, but yeah, no, I can see that, and that's a cool game. So this could be also cool, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think this was a really solid show for the Limited Run guys. So I'm happy for them. They got some. They're getting some really big IP. I mean, they have the Star Wars license.
Yeah,
some of these other games. It's pretty big, and they're finally working on some Castlevania games like this. So. That's really cool. That anniversary collection, I'm absolutely getting that. I can't wait.
Just out of curiosity, does Disney now own everything of LucasArts? Like, did they own the LucasArts?
I don't think so.
Games and stuff.
Because I don't. Well, the only reason I'm saying I don't think so is because I feel like it would be a nightmare for Limited Run to get the rights to anything Disney.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I don't think they bought LucasArts, but they do obviously have like the Star Wars IP, like that. Goes with it.
So yeah, I'm wondering.
Let me look up who owns them.
Because the episode 1 Pod Racer was made by LucasArts, as was Monkey Island.
Oh right, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, and because
it was, you're right. They do own it. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Wow, brilliant. So that's pretty cool. I mean, Disney doesn't seem to make many games these days. I could be wrong on that. It's been a while since I've seen an actual Disney-made game, so it's kind of cool to see this coming out. I know they're not technically making it. Limited Runs is releasing the game, but it's cool that they're letting that happen. Basically,
if you didn't like Disney before, It says here also on April 3rd, 2013, Disney halted all internal development at LucasArts and laid off most of its staff.
Yeah, I feel like that's how I kind of knew they owned it, because I vaguely remember they're the ones who like basically shut it down. It's like, oh, damn you.
And then it said, however, LucasArts remained open so that it could retain its function as a licensor. So that gives you your answer about limited run.
There we go. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Disney. Hope your reopenings of the parks are going well, you fucking idiots.
Gotta use those games now to keep your money afloat.
Graham, did you see there's like 8 versions of the Pod Racer that you could get?
Is that?
Just go to limited here. I'll just throw it into the chat. Just go to Limited Run Games. On their front page, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ways you can get Star Wars Pod Racer. It's ridiculous. So however you want to blow a hole in your wallet, you've got your options right there. Speaking of Disney titles, this is such a random tangent, but did you guys ever play Quackshot on the Genesis?
Yes. Did I?
So, yeah.
I love that game, and I found out that there was a Sega Ages port on Saturn that has Disney's Castle of Illusion and also Quackshot. They were re-released on Saturn for some reason, and I illogically want that. Because any excuse to play more Quackshot. Because I don't think I have my copy of Quackshot anymore, unfortunately. Or if I do, it is the cartridge, and it is... Oh, no, I found it. Never mind. All right, I don't need to buy it again until I forget about it next month. That's kind of what I got, though. Graham, did you see how many different times you can buy Pod Racer?
Yeah. I do quite like the N64 styling box, but speaking from experience, N64 boxes are hard to keep fresh. They do wear out quite quickly, but that's pretty cool. That looks really sweet. Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, they're releasing on the N64. They are not. It's like the Switch and PS4 versions.
No.
The N64 box art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that, I mean, from speaking for me personally, it's a shame you don't Limited Run don't make Xbox games. And I know the reason, isn't it reasons like Xbox, they require to have a bigger order of physical games or something to release an Xbox game? Something weird like that.
Yeah, I think it is that.
Yeah. So yeah, Limited Run keeps a Switch and PS4. So like, it just annoys me that Microsoft have done that. Like, it'd be cool to see some of these games on Xbox and stuff. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, I've downloaded the digital version of Pod Racer already on Switch, so I kind of don't need it. This is the thing about Limited Run game. Very few of the games actually interest me. I think it's cool they do it for other people, like collectors and stuff. I don't have the space for physical games really anymore. So I'm trying to do more retro stuff, and Limited Run I don't really do so much. I think there's been 1 or 2 games I bought from them, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Chris, what news has tickled your fancy this week, my friend?
Okay, so I started talking about this bit of news in my kind of intro or whatever, and then I realized, like, wait, I can't keep talking about this because I'm talking about it later. So this goes back to my mini rant that I was having about Sling and Fubo and the other like OTT providers. So this all happened in a short span over the past week or so, that YouTube TV announced they were going to raise their prices about 30% to $65 a month. Then Fubo also announced that they're raising theirs to $60 a month. And the thing that really pissed me off about Fubo, which that's who I had before, is they not only did they raise the price, but they also cut a lot of the Turner channels, so TBS, TNT, CNN, which I don't really care about CNN, but TNT is where I watch AEW wrestling, and I have to watch that every week. It's just part of my routine, and they cut that. So that's like I can't have that. That's like a game, changer for me. So I had to cancel Fubo, and like I said, I went back to Sling, but the thing here is that if you look over just the past 2 or 3 years, because that's really when a lot of these services started becoming popular, like 2016, 2017 and stuff. So when YouTube first came out, YouTube TV, when it first launched in 2017, it was $35 a month. And so over the past, in 3 years, it's got raised its prices over 100%.
That's insane.
To where it's now $65 a month.
Didn't know that.
Sorry, it's not quite 100%, but it's close. But at the time, they had just like about 35 channels or so it wasn't a lot. But what you see a lot of these providers doing, and I don't understand it, is because I think part of the attractiveness with going from cutting cable, and then going to these OTT providers is that you can get like a la carte services. So you can pick from like small packages, paying like $20 to $30 a month, because you don't want all of the bloat that you get with cable, where you're having to pay so much money. But over time, all of these different like Hulu TV, Fubo, Sling, even PlayStation View would continue to add more and more channels and stuff, and slowly raise the prices. And what it ends up becoming is it essentially becomes cable all over again. Like, you're running into the same problems with, they're having to re-sign all these carriers and networks, once their licensing deals run out every few years. And so the prices get raised and everything else. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like me that just want a very kind of stripped down like cable service at a reasonable price, and that's all I'm looking for. Like, I don't need all these stupid features, like 100 or 1,000 hours of like DVR and all this other silly crap. Like, just cut all that stuff off and just give me what I'm looking for. And right now, Sling is really the only provider that's doing that out of the big ones. You can get, basically with Sling, they have two different like tiers. You get a Sling Blue and a Sling Orange, and each of those are kind of different. Like, I can't remember which one, but like Orange is for like more like sports and stuff. So it has more sports stuff and like ESPN, Fox Sports, that kind of stuff. And then there's other ones like geared towards more like news channels and things like that. But amongst that, they all have a lot of the same stuff too. So you'll get like TNT, Cartoon Network, all that stuff, and it's all like $30 a month. Or you can bundle them both together and pay like $45 a month or something like that. So you're still getting a decent deal there.
Okay.
But Sling is really one of the only ones doing that. All the other ones are just kind of the same. It's, what's really the big difference between Hulu TV, YouTube TV, Fubo, and all this other stuff? It's just you're paying close to $70 a month for these things, and that's really just not the point of when people wanted to cut cable. And so my concern is that we're just kind of going down that same path that we ended up doing with cable.
See, this is interesting because we don't have this in the UK. We don't have YouTube TV or Sling TV.
Go
and
ahead,
stuff.
Graham. Oh, there was lag. Sorry, I'm interrupting now.
There must be a massive lag with me. Sorry. That's a bit bad. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. Okay. That's awkward. Yeah, we don't have YouTube TV or Sling TV or Hulu TV. Like, I know of Hulu. I've never even heard of YouTube TV until this very moment. And I know of Sling, but I think that's from their other
Red,
stuff.
I think.
Ah, yeah. Okay, I heard of YouTube Red. We have like some YouTube services. We don't have these over the top. I guess on demand video services like that though. So yeah, it's a bit interesting. Yeah, we have cable, we have satellite TV and stuff, so, and packages like that. But yeah, I didn't even know these were things. This is impressive and shocking to hear that what's happening.
So, my question for you, Chris, the only time we have Hulu and we have Prime Video and we have Netflix, that's it, I think. Yeah. The only time we run into issues is when we want to watch a certain movie and we think like, oh, let's watch Three Men and a Baby. And we go to like, that was on Disney, but then I was like, oh man, you know what's great? Adventures in Babysitting. And that's on Disney Plus, but it says not until like July of 2021 or something. So we try to find it elsewhere and we just can't, because I mean, they're not going to say like what service it's on when you're on Disney Plus, like go to this service instead. So sometimes we'll find it on Amazon, but then it's like, you need the Showtime app. And we're just like, fucking, you know what? We're going to fucking pirate it. Good job, big time corporations. Now you're forcing us to piracy because it's hard to just find one movie. Do you find that any app for you works better outside of Shudder, like for trying to just watch a movie? Because that's seriously become a weekly issue for us.
Yeah, the one thing that I found that is actually really good is we use the Amazon Fire Stick. And we actually have a Fire TV in the other room. so it's all built in. But that's good because they're continuing to integrate a lot of these other like OTT services and other streaming channels into kind of their search AI or whatever algorithm. So when you search for something, say you're searching for Adventures in Babysitting, like it'll give you the option of buying or renting it from Amazon, which is usually like $4 for HD, or it'll say like more ways to watch. You click that, and it'll give you options of like, hey, you can watch this in Stars for free, or you can watch it on like Disney Plus or something like that. So not all of them are integrated. Like Shudder isn't, for example. So if say I wanted to watch like Hellraiser 2, it wouldn't bring up the Hellraiser thing for me in Shudder. It wouldn't say that that's available. So I do have those issues. There's a couple of websites that it's called like wheretowatch.com or something like that. You can put it in, and it'll tell you all of those. But I found that even those aren't always very accurate because like licensing stuff comes and goes so fast that I couldn't imagine trying to keep up with that stuff.
Yeah, I remember having the issue. I forget which movie it was that we watched. It might have been Spawn or something, but I rented it on YouTube, and I forgot that I had only rented it. And so I tried to go back to find a screen cap for the header image for the podcast, and I couldn't watch the full movie anymore. I'm just like, oh my fucking God, this is so stupid. We should have an easier time than ever to watch whatever we want to watch right now, and it's actually harder.
I think we do have because of that. Oh, I'm sorry, Scotty. Go ahead.
Oh, the last thing quick I was going to say is we have a Chromecast, but it's been hiccuping a lot, and you can't run certain apps through that, so I think we were leaning towards a Fire Stick anyway.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to, and I think Amazon has some sort of big event, whatever their version of like the Apple event or whatever is, and usually that's when they announce like new products, and so they'll usually will drop it like that day, like Sega Saturn style, like where they're like, hey, here's the new next generation Fire Stick, and it's available to order right now. And so I think that's coming out. But even if you wait and get wait for like a seasonal sale, you can find Fire Sticks for like $30 or something like that.
Right.
Really cheap, and it's worth it. The like just the UI is just very slick. It's quick. You can do a lot with it, and if you want, you can hack them too, and do some stuff. I haven't bothered with that with mine, but I hear it's pretty easy from there. So yeah,
I've heard that too.
I'm beginning to feel like more like an old man, where I'm just like yelling about cable bills and all this other shit. So
that's crazy.
Retiring.
Yep, this is the kind of stuff I get angry about now. Kids
walking in my yard. It's crazy to me where like how far it's come in just the decade, because like in college, and this is kind of an example of it. So in college, I found Lost in Translation, and it was somehow a Bill Murray movie that I didn't know existed, and I totally torrented it in like 2 parts, and I watched it when I was home once, and I'm like, this is a great movie. And there was nowhere I could find it without renting it, and that's kind of when renting stores were just disappearing left and right. Blockbusters and whatever were going out of business. But Lost in Translation is now one of my favorite movies, and that was a result of torrenting that movie because it was so hard to find. And it's almost coming to that time again where we can't just get a movie legitimately. Like, we'll find the mirrored YouTube version. I'm not saying do this, but also the big companies don't need your money. But it's so crazy how weird, and it's like a vicious cycle of having incredible access and then no access. You know what I mean?
And that's what I was going to say, Scotty, earlier, is that I think what we're seeing, maybe the early stages of, is like almost like from consumers wanting to go back and have physical media again because they're tired of that very same thing. Like the licenses for TV and movies like comes and goes so quickly. Like there's not just even with Netflix, and you can't be confident that your favorite movie is always going to be there, unless like like the only, I guess, Disney, because they own all this crap and they're the only ones that stream it now. So like where you have to go for Disney stuff, but and so I've actually started buying like more physical movies and stuff lately.
Shout Factory, baby.
Shout Factory's awesome, but to include also, I've been starting to buy some VHS movies as well.
Wow.
Just like on Facebook Marketplace too. I got this deal where I got like 15 VHS movies for $3, and it had
Oh
some
my
awesome.
god!
It had
And those are going to build the walls of the mega barn. It's going to be built out of your VHS collection.
I bought it had Kingpin, E.T. It had like a bunch of I didn't have any of the Star Wars movies, but it just had some old horror stuff in there. And it was a good little bundle, $3. And so what I'm going to start doing, because you guys know we're doing, I'm also doing the Bloodsucking Geeks podcast. So what I'm going to try to do each time for every movie that we watch on there is I'm going to buy like the collector's edition Blu-ray for those movies, but also try to buy the VHS version of it as well. And so one of our next episodes, we're doing Halloween Resurrection. And so I found the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray's out of print now, so that's actually hard to get. So you can't buy that anywhere. So you have to buy on eBay usually, and so you can get the DVD version for really cheap. But the Blu-ray is hard to get, and then but I also bought the VHS version for like a couple of dollars and stuff too. So I'm waiting for those to come in this week. But yeah, just going back to your point, Scotty, I'm kind of going that same route where I'm getting fed up with all the streaming stuff because you just can't be confident that what you want to watch is going to be there.
Yeah, I actually had this situation the other day. So I've been going through all the Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
one by one.
I had that.
And on Disney Plus, they've got all of them except for the Spider-Man movies. So basically...
Really?
Yeah. Well, in the UK, they don't. For some reason, they don't have the two Spider-Man movies, the ones with Tom Holland in. And...
Yeah.
Luckily, I'd bought my brother a birthday present, which was the Blu-ray double pack of both movies. And since COVID, I haven't been able to give it to him. So I cracked that bad boy open and stuck it in. But there was one thing that really annoyed me about the Blu-ray and DVDs as well, that do this as well. It's all the freaking menus and stuff. I hate them. Like some of them you can't skip and stuff. I'm just like, I just want to watch the movie right now. So streaming services, it's like streaming service. I love you because it's just instant. But yeah, the fact I couldn't find it anywhere, it wasn't anything. I've got Disney Plus. I've got something called Now TV, which I don't think you get in America. But they do a lot of big shows and movies. Netflix. I've got Amazon Prime. And it wasn't on anything. So it was just like, thank God for that Blu-ray. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to watch it. But yeah, so you're kind of right.
Thank God for Disney Plus. We tried to watch those before Endgame came out. Rachel and I tried to go through all the Marvel movies. It was a fucking chore between what my roommate owned at the time, what I owned at the time, and like other people didn't. They weren't streaming anywhere. You couldn't find the first Hulk movie for some reason. Like just ridiculous stuff.
Wow. Well,
I'm right there with you.
The Edward Norton Hulk movie or the other Hulk movie?
Never mind the fact that you just had to like super specify your search to find the Hulk movie first, but it was harder to, I don't know. This could be a whole nother podcast. It was just hard to find certain movies that didn't make sense. They were difficult to come by. One last thing I'll say about all of this and Chris's sickness of now acquiring VHS. I've noticed some things starting to release versions on VHS. Like a documentary I recently bought on Blu-ray, they did a VHS version, awesome. And I've seen other stuff. One of the there was a documentary about rental stores, I think, that they released on VHS as well. That's I gotta find. I'm gonna look that up right now just because I forgot about it, and I'll send that to you as well, Chris, because I think you dig it.
A few weeks ago, my mum threw away all my old VHS tapes, except for my Jackie Chan collection, because I refused to let her do that.
What's going on?
Because we can't sell them anywhere here anymore. Oh, I had like tons. I had like a good 50 to 100 VHS movies. I can't remember now. There's a handful she let me keep, mostly Jackie Chan ones because Jackie Chan's my idol. But yeah, loads of stuff. Because you can't give them to charity shops anymore. We couldn't seem to sell them. But I couldn't actually, to be honest, I probably wouldn't be able to give them to you, Chris, because I don't think our VHS tapes work in your VHS players over there.
Yours guys goes like the opposite way. That's why. It's like your toilet.
Exactly like it. There was this is a small rant, but James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, actually did a video saying DVDs are better than Blu-rays, and I almost 100% agree with everything he had to say in it.
Oh,
I
really?
think I remember doing that because did he say something like DVDs had like way better content and stuff too, like additional
Yeah.
content?
Yeah, actually,
Just
that's
easier
true.
to navigate, like more obvious care was put into the menus and the bonus stuff and different things on the actual discs, whereas there's literally a template for Blu-ray menus. It looks like now, just the generic like silver and like platinum kind of border and stuff. It was interesting, but yeah, it depends on where you get them. But yeah,
there's a mini rant I have about DVDs as well. I'm not sure if I should say it, but maybe we should.
A mini rant.
I'll just say it. Screw it.
He's going to think about it all night.
When DVDs first came out, there was this big promise of like all the cool features you could do with a DVD, and one of them I remember distinctly in adverts and like even some movies promoting this for the DVD release. You can change the camera angle of the scenes. I haven't seen a single movie that's been able to do that.
What?
There was a thing that you could choose. You could choose the camera angle, and I was just like, "That's amazing!" And my friends at school were ranting about it, going, "Oh my god!" Because at the time I was like, "VHS is way better," because it's for some reason I don't know why.
I would tell
I was
you
just really
what
into
that's
VHS.
for, Graham, my sweet summer child. Have you ever watched porn on a DVD? That's why they did that.
What, really?
Because you could switch scenes and other camera angles.
Are you making this up right now?
I'm not making it up because there's no real movie that's going to allow you to switch scenes. Like, what feature length, like theatrical movie is the director going to be like? I'm fine with them switching scenes in this. No, what it is, it's like when you're watching an adult film and you want to be like, okay, I don't like this angle because this dude's butt is right in my face. You can switch it, and you can switch to a different camera. That's what that was for.
I feel
it's not for actual movies.
I feel like a full big production Hollywood movie would have multiple cameras in some scenes, whereas a porn movie would have like one dude with a camera just standing there. Like,
well, I mean, there are those movies, Graham. Yes, okay. There are those.
Oh, let's please talk about the different qualities of porn now.
Well, okay. Well, the fact is they really advertised it, and it never bloody happened. I've never known anyone who's got it. So, well, I just want that promise. Sorry.
Let's get out of here.
I'll bring it back real quick. The documentary I was thinking of is called Adjust Your Tracking. It's about VHSs, actually, not rental stores, but I've heard very good things about it. It's called Adjust Your Tracking. I put it in our chat there, but I haven't seen it. I need to buy it.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Anyway, Chris, sorry, what's your other bit of news that you're interested in?
I'll go through this really quick because I don't think there's a ton we can say. But did you guys see that Sony revealed the PlayStation 5 box art?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I guess some of it got leaked, but then someone for Godfall, they tweeted it out. And so it looks pretty much like your PS4 boxes. Like it's still blue, like the plastic's still blue. But at the top they have a white strip with the PS5 logo and the old school PlayStation logo next to it. I think it looks fine. Like it's a lot of people are mad about it for some reason.
Really?
I guess I don't know.
Some reason somebody's mad on the internet.
Wow.
I don't.
The only thing I could say is maybe they really wanted something new compared to, because I mean, PlayStation. Actually, I'm going to double check my PlayStation 3 games, what they look like.
They're clear. Remember they had that clear case?
They are clear, but their styling is still very similar. It's still got like the PS3 up there, and only on PlayStation or PlayStation Network, or whatever's up there, and then the game. And that's basically what the PS4 and the PS5 are. But because they've got the blue plastic, it looks a little bit different, but. Yeah, so what's the big problem?
My only thing is I think the white equates it to the like generic the store-made cases that GameStop and other places would do.
But
because there's a lot of white on those.
So my understanding is that reflects the actual console, because the PlayStation 5 has been released as white. Does. The PlayStation 4 had the blue light on the controller, and because the PlayStation 3 was black as well, so that thing that had the black there. So with PlayStation 4, they used the blue light, and then white for the. That makes sense to me. I think it's fine.
There was also a leaked ad, I guess, that showed a black and red PS5 where you have the black and white like two-tone colors in the one that they actually shown. This one was all black with like red accents on it. It looked like a Sith like system or something. It looked awesome. It looked really cool, and so I hope that's legit because if I could get that all black and red one, I think that would look much better.
If they release a Star Wars game with it at launch, that would be cool because it could have like Stormtrooper colors or like Darth Vader. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think we'll see more of that with the PS5. I mean, if you look at what they've done with since I guess they didn't do it with the PS3, but it was the PS4 where they started having like themed like limited editions and stuff. So I don't anticipate that's going to be going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's fine. I don't know why people are so angry on the internet, but they are. So that's my other bit of news. Over to you, Graham.
Cool. So yeah, I'll try and run through mine pretty quickly. So one thing that really interested me was Tomb Raider: The Ultimate Experience has the info's been leaked about it. Basically, a poster has sort of been shown with like 3 images from different eras of Lara Croft, I guess. They've got one which looks like the Tomb Raider 3 box art, one which looks like the Tomb Raider Anniversary box art, and Tomb Raider Guardian of Light, which was a digital only title. Which is like a top-down view one, a bit different to the other ones. But and basically underneath it says, relive Lara's greatest adventures in one ultimate package. So there's a bit of speculation on what actually this means, but from what I'm gathering, it looks like we're actually going to get the original Tomb Raider games, like I'm guessing Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, Last Revelation and Chronicles, but also Anniversary, Legend, and Underworld, plus Guardian of Light, I'm assuming. And I think that's going to be awesome because I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I love the games. The only one I actually haven't played properly is Tomb Raider 3. I played it a little bit, but and also Angel of Darkness, which was a PlayStation 2 exclusive, and I own it, but I've never actually played it because apparently it's god awful. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Very excited for this.
What were all the Dreamcast Tomb Raider games? Were there ever any exclusive?
There were no exclusive. There was Tomb Raider 4, that's the Last Revelation, and Tomb Raider 5, which is Tomb Raider Chronicles. So they weren't exclusive. The Dreamcast version of Tomb Raider 4 was enhanced over some of the other versions. Like I think it had better lighting than the PC version. They did a really good job on it. So like the lighting effects and stuff on it, there's like a big thing in the advertising campaign. They're like, yeah, if you want me to look like Lara's there, like, do you know how it looks so good? On Dreamcast, it's like held up a Dreamcast. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm excited for this because I like the new modern Tomb Raider games, but I'm not a massive fan of them because I prefer the old school Lara where she could like do backflips and jumps and like had 2 guns running around. Whereas I don't really understand video games with the bows and arrows in that I like bows and arrows, but they're one hit kill in every video game. Whereas I'm sure in real life a gun would do more damage than an arrow. So bit weird, but what do you guys have you guys seen this? Have you guys got any thoughts? Oh, actually I should probably let you know what the poster also says. It's coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Steam, Switch, and Stadia. So
oh no,
coming to everything, it seems. Everything with a pulse, so not the Vita, unfortunately. But yeah, have you guys seen this? Are you guys interested? Do you not care? I mean, Scotty played through Tomb Raider 1 on the Saturn the other day. I'm sure you're a massive fan.
No, I didn't. Didn't play through it because it sucks. Didn't finish it. Walked away from it.
How dare you, sir? It's a great game.
I would like to finish it someday. There are 14. No, I'm sorry. There's almost 20 Tomb Raider games. So you think they'll have them all on here?
I'm hoping so because that'd be really exciting. I mean, Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Underworld, I think, are 2 of my favourites. I thought the storylines and the actual level design and everything in those was so much fun. And hopefully, for your sake, Scotty, if they have got the original like few on there, it'll be like the PC version where you could save anywhere. Because on the Saturn version, you have to have save points. Whereas on the PC version, you could save at any time. So if you die, you just go back.
That was honestly that was a make or break thing, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. But yeah, Chris, what about you? Are you interested in these at all?
Man, for me, the modern Tomb Raider games are games that they look a lot of fun, but I just never can get into and play them for whatever reason. So I know I'm not going to get this, but I think it's a really neat thing for fans of the series. But yeah, I just haven't been. I like Tomb Raider, but I'm just fine not playing Tomb Raider games anymore.
Yeah,
fair.
I feel really bad because I know that I would enjoy them. I enjoyed the parts that I enjoyed of the first Tomb Raider when I was streaming it. It's just when I got to that one part, I was literally bashing my head off the wall and the floor. That it just really
I,
it really wore on me. But I feel like I like what I played of Uncharted games and the new Tomb Raider games. Multiple people know what I'm into and have told me to play them. So maybe
Yeah.
this is the way I could actually try to dabble here or there.
Maybe. I would also recommend trying out Tomb Raider Anniversary, which is a remake of the first game, but it's so much easier to play. Like the movement, everything's a lot easier. She's got this cool rope ability thing now. Some of the puzzles are a little bit easier. It's like, because back in the day, there's like the textures and backgrounds, you couldn't tell the difference between the thing you need to pick up and the wall, basically. So yeah, and it looks a lot better as well.
And the sprite didn't move.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's that one on?
So Tomb Raider Anniversary is on Xbox 360, PS3, PC. I don't know if you might be able to do backwards compatibility on Xbox. I'm not sure. So yeah, that was released a few years ago, but it was really good. And then Tomb Raider Legend and Underworld, they changed up the whole game mechanics for those. They make it a lot easier to run around and stuff. It's more natural, less sort of trying to get your angle just right. It's more like run around, jump, yeah, sort of do your thing.
Gotcha.
So
fight some vampires and stuff.
Sure.
That was a Underworld movie joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know, Scott.
Moving on. Anyway, so I'm excited for this. The poster also says a release date of August the 27th. There's not much more information that's been announced
soon.
Yet. Yeah, very soon. So I'm hoping it's legit because there's lots of places actually been reporting this now, but not much information's come out. So we'll see. It could be that they've had to push the release date back due to COVID or something, which is why they haven't released this yet. But yeah.
This would be an awesome physical release through limited run games.
Yeah. If you're watching, this is one I would buy. Thing. So yeah, I would get this for my Switch or whatever from limited run games if they do it. That'd be cool.
So I feel like just looking at this briefly, it's more of like them announcing that you'll be able to play all these games on a service, not that it's really a collection, you know?
Oh, interesting. So that's not what I read the other day. So I got this yesterday, this information, but
I'm getting that impression from just where games are now and how, a physical release of anything.
They say it one ultimate package.
Or, a bundled release of anything.
They're saying in one ultimate package, so to me that sounds like a game. Like maybe if it's just digitally, that's one thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like the rare replay. For the Xbox One, they had the rare replay, which had like 28 games in it. You didn't like that?
Download them. No, I don't want to get into that rant too. Okay. It'll just sound more like an old man again. I hate video games. They suck.
Wow.
What else is happening?
So, in other news, so this is something we reported on Megavision's website. More Sega focus, which is great. So we announced that Sega's releasing the Astro City Mini Arcade, which is like a little arcade unit, kind of like the mini consoles, but arcade unit. And they've already announced that. So they said there's going to be. I've actually just forgotten the amount of games. I'm going to have to click on my link that I've just included in this.
They haven't listed all of them yet.
They haven't listed all of them. Yeah, it's like 36 games are going to be on this, which is a pretty decent amount. But they've announced
games more than 4 on your micro, you idiots. Sorry. Go ahead. I'll stop interrupting.
But yeah, they've announced that Virtual Fighter's going to be on there, Altered Beast, Golden Axe. So quite a few heavy hitters on there. So they've announced 10 of the games so far. There's going to be 36 in total. But interestingly, it's now available for pre-order on Amazon's Japanese store, which you can actually create a new account from anywhere else in the world, basically, and put your pre-order in, because it does ship worldwide. It's going for 14,080 yen, which is about $129 or about £102. And it's got a shipping date of 31st of December 2020, so the end of the year. There are also they've also sort of revealed a cool little 6-button controller, because if they're playing on
Yeah,
a
I like
tiny
the look
little
of that thing.
arcade is going to be too hard for you, you can get a controller as well, which is pretty cool. There is a separate purchase. It's about 3,058 yen, which is about $28 or £22. Weirdly though, I can't seem to pre-order this from the Amazon site. It's available for
I'm not
pre-order,
doing it this time. I
but
did it
not
last
shipping
time for the Game
worldwide.
Gear Micro.
But yeah, for some reason you can't get. I couldn't get a controller. It says this is not shipping to your destination, but the console
Hmm.
itself is. So I don't know what's going on there. Though they've only got a launch date of December 2020, so I'm assuming it's going to be the same date. But they haven't got
That's just a placeholder thing,
yeah, it
though.
seems like a placeholder very much. So we'll have to see. And still no word if there's going to be a Western release for this at all. Hopefully there is. But yeah, are you guys excited? Have you guys got your pre-order in? From the sounds of it, Scotty, you haven't. But Chris, have
I
you?
was trying not to do that this time.
Sorry, I was muted. I was
Chris,
unmuting myself.
Chris, before you answer, do you remember how much your little Neo Geo cab was? Because didn't you get one of those, the tiny ones?
Oh, the Neo
Am
Geo
I thinking of
X.
something else? Did you get one of those? Am I making that up in my head?
Oh, this.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is that one of them?
Mhm.
It's like in a shadow. I can't really see.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is.
Okay, cool.
I actually have two of these. I
Wow.
bought one because they dropped the price to them like $30 or something on Amazon. And I was like, all right, well, I'll buy another one.
Yeah, if this was $30, I'd get it right now.
So I did pre-order one of these. There is like a third-party company based in like Japan, I think. And basically, what you could do is get them buy your product, ship it to them, and then pay them to ship to you, and they'll do that. So for this controller, if Amazon won't ship it, you can go to this other company and have them ship it to you, and just it's like an added fee that you know.
That's
you have to-
interesting.
So you'll probably be paying shipping plus like some sort of handling fee or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what their name is offhand, but I'll look at that because I do want that controller.
Yeah, the controller looks nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because it is pretty cool. It came out of left field. You know, it's one of those things you just wake up. It's like, oh, Sega Japan has just announced something insane, which they just seem to like to do every so often. But it's really cool. I like the idea that it has those two USB inputs because that essentially allows you to plug two controllers in, and you then I think it also has an HDMI out too, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, so you basically plug it into your TV, and you could play this, like full screen with two controllers. I don't know if that's at that point if it's just completely negating the purpose of this because it's supposed to be this like tiny miniature thing. But no, I'm excited about it, man. This looks cool. The games list, we still are still waiting for the full list, but the stuff they did announce for it, it looks like pretty good stuff there.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is like, what other games? Because did you run down the list of games, Graham, that are coming out?
I just said a couple of them. So yeah, they've
The
got
Revenge of Death Adder. I'm really excited about. That's gonna be cool. That's the isn't that the fighting one? The fighting game one?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's.
It might be actually. Yeah, I'm fuzzy with the Golden Axe games to be honest. Let's just do a quick Google.
It's not. It doesn't look like it. It's an arcade one.
Sega website, folks.
It's the one that's actually never released onto the home consoles.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
neat.
it's another side-scrolling beat-em up, but it wasn't released on home consoles. So yeah, that's quite.
As long as they don't screw it up, and as long as these are all the arcade versions of these games, that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, don't throw the Genesis version of Altered Beast on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I want this to be legit.
So
and hopefully M2. I don't know if they've announced who's doing this, but hopefully M2 is doing it, and so we can get actually good emulation.
So what you're saying is you don't want the Game Gear version of Virtua Fighter on this? Is that what you're saying?
I will lose my mind.
Nobody wants a Game Gear version of on Game Gear. Didn't they confirm that M2 is not doing it
Did they?
somewhere?
I haven't seen that.
I gotta find where that was.
That scares me.
Maybe it's because we were just talking about the retro pad or the fighter pad Dreamcast thingy, but the buttons on that controller for this thing look really nice. Like they're really raised up, so it looks like you'd really feel them when you're pressing them. I don't know how to say what I'm excited about for it.
I
It looks comfortable.
Yeah, it looks quite comfortable to use, doesn't it? It's kind of like a square shape, but it looks really fitting with the retro style of the arcade itself and the color scheme and everything. So it looks pretty fun. Also, Chris, I didn't even know that Neo Geo thing was a real thing, and I've just ordered one. So yay!
Jesus Christ!
Ordering stuff.
How much was it?
I got a bundle with 2 controllers for, well, I don't know if I should say it's nine.
I also have a Neo
£80.
Geo Gold X. Go buy one of those.
I just wanted.
Oh, that's so expensive.
I wanted to compare the price of the Neo Geo one to this one because people were like, "Oh, it's $120," so I didn't know how expensive the other ones were.
This is under right now. This is under £100, but it's like it looks like it's been discounted at the moment, but not a huge amount. So
I'm pretty sure the Neo Geo thing has been. I think it's discontinued now. So
still get on Amazon in the UK. Go for it quickly.
Right, but I think they're trying to sell through the stock on a lot of those now. But yeah, buy that Neo Geo X Gold while you're at it, Graham.
Yeah, I've known about that for a long time. That's expensive cheddar, my friend.
I bought one on eBay right before the price on them started going up really high. I think it was maybe $100 or something around there. And they were selling for quite a lot more than that. But I have got it all boxed and everything. Everything is with it, so it's in really good condition. And it's really neat to take the actual handheld out because basically what it is. It's like a dock. There's a docking station. Like the actual AES is basically just a plastic shell. You open that up, and there's a docking station in there for the handheld. And then there's all these ports on the back.
Kind of like the Switch, but a more better, prettier looking box, isn't it? Like if that makes sense. Yeah.
And then what was neat too is you could buy these but they're kind of I guess micro SD looking cards, but I think there's something proprietary on them. But you could buy expanded games and stuff, so you could buy new and then have a 12 to 15 games per chip or whatever.
Yeah. So right now I can see one on Amazon for £420.
Oh my god!
No, thank you. But the Mega Pack Volume 1 is £78.55. It's got a lot of games on it, though. It's 15 games, so yeah, I don't know. I think I'll hold off on that one. Thank you. Yeah.
No, this is cool. I'm excited for this. This is something. It's gonna look awesome on my shelf next to my actual Neo Geo Mini. And is there any games though? Before we move on, that you guys would like to see on this? Because I'm trying to think Sega Astro City games because I'm not.
So, I just found a tweet by Yosuke Okunari, who works for M2. He has confirmed that M2 doesn't have anything to do with the Astro.
That's scary.
Yeah,
I don't trust Sega making hardware anymore.
So it's being developed and released by Sega Toys rather than M2.
Okay. I mean, Sega Toys do make some good stuff.
Yeah, just to, so that we're clear on that. I thought I'd seen it somewhere, so I had to find it. I just linked you guys the tweet. I don't know if you need to add that to anything anywhere, but what else do I want to see on it? Did we list everything that's on it?
No, we haven't.
Well, we know it's going to have 36 games, and we know of 8 of them so far, but we don't know what the actual full list is going to be yet.
Yeah.
We know Space Harrier is going to be on there, right?
Well,
that's not on the list at the moment, I don't think.
It's not on the list.
It's got to be on there.
We got Alien Syndrome, Alien Storm, Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, Columns 2, Dark Edge, Puzzle and action Taint R. It's Tant R, but Virtua Fighter, Fantasy Zone, and Alter Beast.
Toki.
What?
You guys ever play that one? Toki? Toki. You play as some dude turned into a monkey and he spits balls out of his mouth at enemies.
Great game.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is now
that
when you search for this, it only comes up with the mini arcade.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
I try to look for like Astro City game list, and it's not even coming up. It's all just these articles that just came out recently. Oh wait, games database.
Oh yeah, apparently Toki was on the Genesis. I didn't even know that. I just remember playing it in like a Walmart or something.
Was this on the Model 3 board?
That's the thing. I'm not sure what the board is that they're using because.
Yeah, if it's only Model 1 or 2, that's Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers, Sonic the Fighters.
Woohoo! That could be fun. If there's Model 2, you could get like Daytona and stuff, which would be awesome.
You freaking better. Daytona 2, Battle on the Edge.
But
yeah,
I would love to see that. I would love to see. I don't know what else.
Ooh,
Let's get the arcade version of Sonic on there.
Maybe it's Model 2.
Because Model 2 is Virtua Fighter 2 and stuff, but Model 1 is Virtua Fighter 1, which is what they're saying in this. So, I mean, there's if it is the Model 1 board, they've got like Virtua Racing, Star Wars Arcade. Oh my god, that would be amazing if that's on there, because that's such a good game. Wow. Wing War. What's Wing War? I don't even know that game. Oh, that's cool. That's like
Barbecue
a like
sauce.
combat simulator game.
Barbecue sauce.
But it can't just be a Model 1 board because they've got the older games on there as well. So I mean, I'm assuming it's just an emulation of various things. So I mean, you know, that's how they do it these days. So it could be almost anything. I'd love to see one of their like early original games. Do you remember there was a game they did? I can't remember the name of it now. It was like Donkey Kong, but a kind of slightly isometric.
Congo Bongo.
Was that it? Yes. I'd love to see that game on there because that's a game I've always wanted to play. I know I could get an emulator and play it, but I've kind of always wanted to play it on like the actual arcade.
If you look at the list of games on here, these are older arcade games, so it's obviously not Model 3 or Model 2. We're probably if people are yelling at us, listen to this so bad right now. Like, you idiots.
Let's move on because we could be doing this all night. Let's face it. Yeah. Cool. So I guess that actually wraps up the news this week. Time for our feature discussion this week, which is I can't believe you've never played Blaster Master. So with this feature, basically we're going to look at a game that one of us hasn't played before, and then we decided this beforehand and we went through and played the game and we're going to talk about it. So this week, first up, as I say, Blaster Master. I had never played it before and Chris has been randomly talking about it. It seems like for last few months it keeps coming up in conversation, so that seemed to be the natural pick for this game.
Why did we I think it was because of Limited Run, or someone announced that they were going to do a physical release. I think it was Limited Run, and we were just talking about it in the chat, and Graham was like, what's this game? And I'm like, God damn it, it's happening again. I
actually remembered exactly what it was. It was that freaking toy that you showed me at the start of the show, before the cameras was rolling. You have that little toy, and you're like, look what I got. I saw it, I was like, okay, it's a cool little tank thing. And
yeah, that's right.
You seem really excited, and I was just like, I don't know what this is. Like, this is not something for me.
I found this on Instagram, and basically, I follow this guy that makes like minifigures of like the old remember the old like wrestling figures that they used to make? I forget, like he makes all sorts of just really cool like different figures like this, and he posted these up that all had different fluorescent colors in it. Like if you're listening to the audio podcast, it's basically a small tank. It's Sophia the Third from Blaster Master, but the wheels and the main like body are like orange, and then there's some green fluorescent colors, and like the cannon, and it's all like it all articulates too. It's pretty neat. I was really excited to get it, And I showed Graham, you're right, and he's like, "What? I don't. It's a stupid tank."
It's
Don't
like,
get it.
I mean, I didn't say it's stupid. I thought that's a cool little tank, but I had no idea what is no idea of reference point for that. So it was, wasted on me, I'm afraid. So that got us to that conversation. I think the limited run games thing talked about that or something, and the whole discussion kicked off again. And there was another thing. It was just like,
I just made
I
the mistake of
don't know what
looking
this
up the
is.
limited run releases too.
Oh
Holy
dear.
crap!
Okay, so
These look great.
Close that window. Close that window, my friends. Don't go down there.
Well, I'm going to share the window with you, and now I'm closing it.
Okay. So yeah, if people don't know about this game, Blaster Master was originally released on the NES, the original NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Back in Japan, it was released in June 1988, and then November 1988 for North America. Europe and the Power regions didn't get it till April 1991. So like about 3 years later, basically. And yeah, then it was released on the Wii store, Wii U store, and the 3DS and the Switch have also got it now. So the original game's been very much a Nintendo title. Developed and published by Sunsoft, who did lots of great games back in the day. And it's a platform run and gun, also kind of Metroidvania style game, is what they say. Misty on the Wikipedia page, which is where I got that info from. So
this is before Metroidvania was a thing, though. Like,
yeah,
I mean, this style of game, yeah.
So
We
Chris,
should say, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, okay, no, Chris, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I was just going to say you're listing the platforms, but you forgot Genesis.
Okay, no. They said Blaster Master wasn't on the
version.
Genesis, so yeah, that is a different version of the game, which we will get onto later, my friend. So the original game.
Jump the gun. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, you're too excited. But okay, because you're so excited, explain to the audience why it's shocking I haven't played it, because you guys seem like you've never played it, and I was like, I haven't even heard of this game. What is going on?
I always thought Blaster Master was one of those just very popular games that everyone played on the NES growing up. Like, it was, for me, like, it blew my mind because there's not very many games back then on like 8-bit that allows you to completely change perspective. Whereas like there's portions of it where it's a side-scrolling platform, and then it jumps from there, and it's like a top-down, almost isometric in a way, I guess. Like running gun shooter. Like it's crazy, and your character can jump in and jump out of the tank, which is really cool because that adds a whole new element into like the gameplay, but also the level design and everything else. Because the way the designers are figuring out like placements of different things, like they're also adding in like small areas that only you can get to if you get out of the tank. And I thought it was really cool. The soundtrack is great. I love the main theme to this game. I loved it, and I just thought it was one of those games like that every NES kid would have played. That's why it surprised me.
Scotty, was this a big game?
I remember the moment I rented this. This is one of those weird things where you can picture the exact moment of your childhood. There were some places around, like local video shops or whatever, that were sometimes they shared a building or something with another business. But I remember going. This rental shop was like upstairs, and we're talking like carpeted floor with paneling, wood paneling sides and stuff. And I say carpeted floor like other places had tile or something. But I remember finding this on a shelf and renting this game and not really understanding what I needed to do because I had never played Metroid. I never got into the Metroid series. I'm not a fan of Metroidvania stuff either. Just because I find that it can drag on and sometimes feel unwell. It overstays its welcome if not done correctly or done well. But I do remember the exact moment of finding this game. The cover does not explain anything about what it is, like the cover art. The cover art's actually the last boss, which is a crazy thing. It's the final boss in the first game is on the cover. But yeah, the game, it goes from you're driving around in a platforming little car, and then I felt that the top-down view when you are just Jason outside of the car tank thing called Sophia, when you're walking around as Jason, it almost looks like Bomberman a little bit. Because it is a top-down, but it shows enough of what's going on, and his helmet and his armor and stuff looks kind of like Bomberman, I thought. and that classic story of a little boy losing his frog and falling him down into the sewers and finding a tank to drive.
Can you imagine? That would be the coolest fucking thing ever. As a kid, you know, you find this huge ass like tank, and I don't know. Like I another thing that I loved about the top down mode was how big the sprites are, because you didn't see that a lot in 8-bit games either at the time. Or just how big, like the really big sprites. It was really colorful, and it also had cool cutscenes too that were animated, which you didn't get a lot of.
Yeah.
In the original. Yep.
So this is the first time I've ever played it. I'd never touched it before, so I actually used on the Switch. So I've sort of subscribed to the online service on Switch, so you get all the NES and SNES games that is part of that. So yeah, I've never played it, and you touched on the storyline there. That was a bit of a what the hell kind of moment for me, because there's a guy who follows this frog that escapes down a hole. He goes down a hole. There's a tank with a suit. Doesn't care about the frog anymore.
Fits him perfectly.
Just puts the suit on, fits perfectly, and jumps in this tank. I'm like, what? Yes, it's cool, but at the same time, who does that? Like, there's like suddenly gone on an adventure, like going around shooting things, and it's not like, oh, cool tank, I'm going to drive it for a little bit. It's like, no, let's go on a whole epic quest for no reason.
This reminds me of like an '80s kids movie. You know what I mean? Like you could see like something like what's the one with a kid that flies in the spaceship?
Oh, Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, Flight of the Navigator. It reminds me of something like that. You know, like I could totally have seen this movie being made in like the mid to late '80s. And so I think for me also it just kind of it touched that sense of like wonderment as a little kid. And it just like put me there. I'm like, this would have been the coolest fucking thing ever if it would have happened to me as a kid. And so I think that really got me into just liking kind of like the lore of the game as well.
Yeah. And for me again, playing it for the first time, I don't know if the Switch version somehow the emulator's a bit different to the original game, but it felt very good. It felt very smooth. I was really impressed by the actual fact that you could shoot in different angles, like up and down and stuff, left and right, especially on ladders, because you drive, as you sort of mentioned, you drive around in Sophia, but Sophia actually jumps, which is kind of cool. Like you're in a tank that actually jumps around, and it feels really good, really smooth and fast. But when you jump out, you obviously feel more vulnerable, but you're smaller. So there's areas where you have to climb up and down ladders or go into certain doorways, which you can't do in the tank. But when you're on ladders, if enemies are above you or below you, in some games you can't shoot down or up, and that's always a frustration because you're trying to get off the ladder because there's an enemy in the way and you could die. But in this, it's like, I just shoot up and down and like kill them. And I was like, this is actually a really cool game. And then you switch to the top-down views and some bits, and they kind of changed the whole gameplay up a little bit. And I'm really impressed with this. This game was actually really cool, especially as you say, it's an 8-bit game. I have to admit, I didn't finish the game. I haven't got that far in it. I'm not very good at it. I did die quite a few times, and then I realized on the Switch you can do the rewind thing. So I was like, rewind, state save. So that's really helped me out a lot actually. But it's been pretty cool. I've been really enjoying it. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the original game at all? Or?
I got a couple of things. The two modes of play overall did blow my mind back in the day. However, it does have one of the things I hate most in any game, fall damage. So you can die pretty quickly accidentally, and it's sometimes easy to accidentally jump off the ladder as Jason running around. I totally died doing that. But that's my only solid complaint on the game is fall damage sucks. But I playing it on the Switch as well, the original. I looked up the manual because I did not know how to use the weapons and stuff sometimes, and but I found a map in the manual. It does show you where to go to get to stage 3 and stuff like that. But also, excuse me, also a great quote next to all the bosses that it says. Because it has a picture of all the bosses except for the last boss, ironically, which is on the cover. But the manual says, you must discover on your own where these master bosses are, but we cannot show you the master boss in stage 8. He is most powerful of all.
English at its finest.
That's brilliant.
So, but I do dig the music as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think overall it's actually a really cool game, and I guess back in the day I never actually really had a NES. The first proper legit, I guess, home console I actually got was a Mega Drive. Had a Game Gear before that. I got a Mega Drive, but I actually had an Atari 2600. That was like my first, and a ZX Spectrum. Those were my first compute game
What?
consoles. But I feel like they weren't
You
really
had
mainstream.
a Spectrum?
Yeah, of course.
Isn't that the thing that was like the vertical box? Or am I just making?
No, it's like a
else?
tape deck.
Is what you're thinking of.
It was
Oh yeah.
it was a game system that uses tapes, cassette tapes. And
Oh my.
have you ever played
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City? At the start, there's this cool, like, weird 80s loading screen, goes, like this annoying noise with these
Wait,
graphics.
have I don't know.
They've got these like
Maybe?
funky colors at the side that like, and it makes this really annoying screechy noise. That's what the Spectrum
Mhm.
loading screens were like. You'd have to wait sometimes an hour
Cool.
for a game to load. It's like, it's so annoying. But
Sounds like
and-
a lot of fun.
and half the time the games wouldn't load. So that was
Oh,
always,
no.
it was like, sometimes it's like if you touch the TV, randomly the game
Oh,
wouldn't load.
no.
So it's like this weird fear, like, don't go near the TV or the games console, don't touch anything. And,
I mean, that's how it was with the 360 a little bit.
oh, boom. But yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I missed out on the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. In fact,
Okay.
I don't actually own an official one, really. I've got one, I did buy one in
Eh.
Australia, which is broken. So that's been annoying. I got it for $5. So
I used
not
to
a
have
big deal.
3 broken NESs.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah. Well, it wasn't. They weren't broken. The pin card goes. So you can get a pin card replacement, but it's
Okay.
not.
I think this one just didn't even power on at all or anything. I'm not sure, but
Mm.
I've got the Retro Freak, which can play them, so I could try and pick this up and
Oh yeah, there you
get
go.
my hands on it. So I can play NES games. I've got a few on my shelf, but yeah, I'm actually really impressed with it. I can see why people do that. I can see, Chris, I can understand why you loved it so much. Yeah, and
I'm glad you're finally seeing things my way, especially because I feel like you have a bad taste of video games most of the time.
No, sir.
You just have weird quirks to like the kind of games you like. So I was worried about this, Graham. I was thinking like Graham's going to get on the podcast and just be like, I don't understand why everyone likes this game so much. I couldn't get into it. So I'm happy that you could see why this game was so popular.
Yeah, I actually think it's one
Meanwhile,
of the better
in the
shooters
break
I've
before
played.
we came back to talk about this, I was showing Graham my sequel to Zero Tolerance because he's the only other person that I know that has played that game. Because Graham and I have some sort of sync with games that no one else
Yes.
has played, and apparently those are the worst ones. Sometimes.
Zero Tolerance is amazing. But as is
It
Blaster
is.
Master, it turns out. Although don't Google Master
Yeah.
Blaster. Actually, do Google Master Blaster. It's a song by I've just forgotten his name now. No. Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
Well, one
anyway.
more thing I'll say. Oh, you found it. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway. What was I going to
Yeah,
say?
the one last thing I'll say about the game is just I feel like Metroid has always bored me, and this game, it doesn't hold your hand, but it feels like it shows you more where you cannot go, and then you have an easier time of finding out where you can go with the weapons that you get, the walls that you can destroy after getting
Yeah.
said gun or whatever. So I feel like this is a little more, not hold your hand, but it's a little more self-explanatory than Metroid was. Maybe that's why I didn't like Metroid too much.
Yeah, I can understand that.
What do you guys think?
I found it very easy to go around,
Yeah.
and when I did things, I understood what I was kind of doing. I guess like some of it is a bit exploratory. Like you are sort of just searching around, just trying to find where to go, which is kind of like Metroidvania games. And that once you actually understand, oh yeah, actually I need to do this and do this. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, I'm going to keep playing it for sure because a lot of these retro games I'll pick up and go, oh yeah, this is fun, then stop. But this one, I think I'm going to try and play it on and off and try and complete it. I think
It does have in the NES like app or whatever on the Switch. It has the bonus or what? It's like two different versions.
Yeah, the SP
yeah.
version that they called it or something like so.
And I started.
That's
I
cool.
guess it just starts you on the last level or something.
Yeah.
Basically, so you can just play the boss right
They
away.
give you like all the upgrades and stuff. So yeah, okay, I could complete it that way. I guess just play the cheaty version. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's cool. So do we want to talk about Blaster Master 2, the epic sequel that came out on the Mega Drive and Genesis?
That's
Sure,
what
I mean,
Chris was thinking about, though.
well, like, here's the thing: is like I played it a while back, but I don't know a lot about the game, and in fact, like I didn't know that was even a thing until like years and years later. It wasn't. I certainly didn't know that Blaster Master 2 was a thing on the Genesis when I won as a kid.
Yeah. And Scotty, did you play this at
I
all?
assume you didn't know anything about Blaster Master 2.
I did not know anything about that one. I'm looking back at my games because I think I own the PS1 version, which is neither here nor there, maybe. But I didn't know about Blaster Master 2 on the Genesis at all, and the cover does not draw you to want to play it because it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's like a kind of orange, yellowy, greeny color with like a big orb saying Blaster Master and then 2 underneath.
Yeah.
So it shows even less about the game than the NES version. It's like think of
Right.
It looks like it could be a pinball game to me because of the orby shape there, which is
Yeah, it does, especially for the time. I did play it though a little bit. It looks great. The music is very much that grungy, gritty Genesis sound. But it's all side scrolling. There's still frickin' fall damage.
well,
And-
it's not all side scrolling. There is a top down view as well for Sophia.
There is?
Yeah, and you
For the
you
Genesis
actually
version?
you rotate the turret, so like
Oh,
the way it drives is really weird. You can sort of like you see the wheels move in weird ways, but you rotate the turret so you can like move sideways and shoot in one direction and stuff. It's kind of cool.
I didn't even get that far.
There we go. Yeah, it's I'd say no. I actually played it because Chris told me. After Chris was telling me about Blaster Master, I found something online about Blaster Master 2. I was like, "Oh, Chris, is this the game?" And you were like, "Oh, hell no, don't get that game." And you were saying it's terrible and like just awful. You were talking about the NES version. I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's kind of how we got onto this. And so, but for this show, we decided to play Blaster Master 2 or have a look at it at least. And I played it and I enjoyed it, Chris. I didn't hate it.
Really?
I
Okay.
thought it was fun. I don't know. It's very similar to the NES version. The graphics look a bit better because it's a more powerful system. I don't think it's a bad game. I can kind of understand why some people might prefer the first one because you do have the top down view with Jason like running around on foot. But the Mega Drive one, you've got Sophia, and I have to admit, even though the Sophia a bird's eye view bits were kind of cool, I found them very difficult to do. It was actually kind of tricky, and I kept dying on those bits. But otherwise, and I guess some of the level designs weren't quite as cool. The Mega Drive one wasn't quite as appealing, like level design wise, but it's still very similar. I still actually had fun. And so, yeah, and the bosses were pretty fun. Like two of the bosses I was killing. Like one was a giant wasp thing, and what was the other one? Oh, the other one was like this weird worm which you could only hit, and then it tried to attack you. It'd like raise up and go, and then like let out mini worms at you. So you had to try and shoot them really quickly. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't say it's a bad game really.
Did you have as much trouble as I did just exiting Sophia?
Oh,
Like I could not figure out how to get out of her.
I had to
first.
Google that because I was like,
Are
I
you
don't.
talking about
I
on
did
the
too.
Switch? Like,
No,
No,
on the Genesis game.
Yeah, I had to
Because
Google
on-
that.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, on the NES version, you just hit, I think, the select button to
Yeah.
jump out of Sophia, the
How do you
car
do it on the
tank
Genesis
thing.
one?
You have to press
You have to
down
hit
and
down
C.
and C at the same time.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
And
Which
I was
is weird.
hitting I was hitting every combination of like hold down C, hit up, hold down C, hit down. No, you had to hit them at the same time.
so
I googled it as well. Like, what is this?
and I was like doing things like up. I was trying to say up because you climb out of the vehicle. So I was doing that, but I
Right.
never did the down. And it's like, oh, you press down. Okay.
Not good.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's
I felt the first level of Blaster Master 2 is every first level of every Genesis game. You are in a forest.
Yes, yeah, that's the funny thing. Yeah,
Which is not, it still looks good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was funny that's, again, the first level of any side scroller pretty much.
Yeah. So so the other game we also looked at was Blaster Master Zero, which is the Switch game, which is a remake of the original NES game. Is that right? Have I got that wrong?
Mhm.
Because that's the
No,
one I
that's
actually.
right, yeah.
So I played that one the least, actually, just before the show. I downloaded it. I paid for it, downloaded it, and then didn't get a chance to play it. but I played it a tiny bit, and I was like, "Oh, this is exactly the same as the original one," which is cool. There's slightly updated visuals and stuff. It looks pretty cool. Music sounds really good.
I find it
Yeah.
easier than
Do you? Oh,
Yes.
the NES one.
Okay.
I find that
Yeah.
some of the like for instance, like in the first top down stage, you know how there's those like little eyes that like will shoot at you.
hmm
Hmm.
If you move in their path, they'll basically like fall down and like hit you and stuff. Or in the in Zero, if you shoot them, they'll stop
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
you can kill them. In the
Right.
NES version, they'll just keep moving. So you basically have to like try to either run past it before it gets you, or kind of like get in its way and run back as soon as it's coming down, you move forward and
Okay.
then you
Yeah,
can
you
get
can
past it.
you can kind of trick it because this isn't a complaint once you learn how it operates, but in
Right.
the original game, you don't shoot dead on in front of you. You don't shoot in the middle of your character. You shoot like off to the right if you're facing up a little bit, or you shoot like off to the left a little bit if you're facing down. So you can kind of trick those little sentries that Chris was talking about and kind of get like peek around a corner and hit them if they're above you on the screen. Um, yeah, there was a lot of quality of life stuff that they added to Zero, like just the fact that you can hold down a button and shoot diagonally in the tank, or just hold
Mm.
down. I don't know if there's a word for that, but you can hold down a button and still fire in one direction while you're moving in other directions. That's almost a game changer for some areas, honestly.
Yeah.
So you could actually do that in Blaster Master 2 on the Genesis as well. I found
Oh, really?
for some reason it didn't seem
Here's
to
Graham.
always
He's
work,
gonna
but
keep talking about the gist.
yeah, it's a great game. But yeah, there's a few times I don't. It doesn't seem as intuitive, but there are a few times I was driving backwards but shooting the other way. I was like, how did I do that?
Oh,
And
okay.
you could sometimes
You
shoot at an angle, and I was like, I still don't fully understand how
Yeah.
I did that because it doesn't seem
I
to
think
do
if you
it normally.
start shooting in one direction and move, you'll just keep shooting in that
Okay,
direction. I don't know if it's a button you hold down though, because I do remember that happening accidentally as well.
yeah.
Yeah, the remake though with Zero, there's diagonal shooting, which is a big deal on the top down and also in the side-scrolling bits. I thought it was funny that they have kind of more cutscenes after, like they have cutscenes after bosses in it, so it really does explain like, oh, I got this gun, so now I can shoot through these parts now. That's not
Okay.
anywhere in the NES version, like stuff like that.
Good luck, kid.
Yeah, basically. But I did find it funny also that I thought for some reason I had in my head like, oh, this is a fun family fun, friendly game. After the first cutscene or something, Jason in the Zero remake, he says like, "What the hell is this?" And then he's like, "Damn it, I gotta do." He sounded like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like, "Damn it, I gotta do this," like something like that.
It's still
yeah.
like it's like an '80s like adventure movie. They said all sorts of stuff like
Yeah.
go back and watch Goonies.
Oh
Monster
yeah,
Squad.
yeah. Well, that's also the plot of Zero is the entire planet has to flee from the surface of the world, so now everyone lives underground. That doesn't, I mean, unless I missed that in the instruction manual of the original one or something, that's what the plot is in the second one. You like everybody just already lives underground.
Yeah, I always thought that
Okay.
he was just a regular kid and he found some
Yeah.
sort of ancient like tech or something, you know, and he's
Ancient
now he
futuristic
stumbled
tech.
upon like this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always thought like Zero was just like a new game. Like I didn't really I know that the levels themselves and stuff were very similar to the original, but
Right.
I thought
Almost
that it
frame
was
for
like its
frame.
own game. So
Yeah.
Okay. I looked more into Zero. Honestly, Graham, if you play the first one to completion, then you should probably just get Zero because it's almost frame for frame the same game.
I already
but
have
with
Zero, so
improvements.
I could play that instead, I guess.
Never mind then. Good
Yeah.
job. Way to go.
Yeah.
I saw that for Zero, they actually had extra characters in DLC. You can play as Shantae. You can play as Shovel Knight. You can play as Gunvault. I'm not sure the connection between the companies of the characters and everything, but that's kind of cool and crazy.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. Shantae seems to get around a lot these days, actually.
Hey,
Hey, yeah, I didn't mean it that way. But yeah, sure. Okay.
have you guys played because there's also a sequel to Blaster Master Zero, like Zero 2. Have you guys
Very
played that one
confusing,
yet?
But yeah.
No, have you?
Nope.
I have not. No.
Is it the Mega Drive
I
one? Have they just remade the Mega Drive one? That'd be amazing if they have.
Maybe it's a remake of the Mega Drive one, and Grant's gonna
no.
get so happy.
It's gonna be the best. It's so good.
We have to find that
I
out.
think I'm not sure if this one's 2-player. One of them is 2-player though, of the new ones. It might be even the
that's
first one. Yeah, I don't know much about the sequel though. If it changes too much, I just looked up a video here real quick. It looks like it's more the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Whoa, he's got some sort of like fire boost move in the car.
Ooh.
So, how do you play
Sophia
this
the car.
2-player though? Because that seems like that would be just
I think someone aims a cursor or something when you're running around in Sophia.
Okay.
I could definitely see myself playing more of these because these are the like. Well, maybe that's because I just played Last of Us yesterday a little bit, but like Blaster Master, things like this are the games that I want more of. Just the plot's ridiculous, it's colorful and fun, and it's moving fast enough that there's not any lulls in the gameplay. It's not trying to be this over cinematic epic universe, like it's just a fun video game. That's what we need, guys. Fun video game.
We need more fun in our lives.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Yeah. So I mean, playing the game again, the mod, like the original NES version again. Do you guys still think it holds up, or compared to how you played it back in the day, or do you think it feels a bit dated in some ways, or are you like, hey, this is great, this is still amazing, I love it?
I think it's a testament to how good the level design and the original game was, that you could basically take it, slap a new coat of paint on it, and add some quality of life stuff, but release it today, and people are still saying, wow, this is a really good game. It's essentially the same game.
Yeah.
And so I think, to answer your question, I think that's a perfect example of why this game holds up so well. That I find it just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously I don't have any reference point from back in the day, but playing it fresh eyes today, I really liked it. Even the original NES version I played, I was like, this is a fun game. And clearly, it's like some retro games you play because of nostalgia. This game, brand new to me, really enjoyed it. I was really impressed with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does hold up well. I think, and that's, I'm gonna say it, I think it holds up better than Metroid.
Hey!
Take that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm also one who's never really got into Metroid that much. I'm not gonna lie, I've just never been my thing. But yeah,
I wish that I could get it physically, but it looks like that might be harder to come by on the limited run side of things.
Are they sold out?
Yeah, yeah. And also, I don't feel good about paying $30 for a download game. I'm not sure how much it is digitally. Maybe we should have looked that up for this segment. Let me check here.
Support the devs.
Oh, I will. eShop, Master. Nope.
I think it's
Blaster.
$20, isn't it?
Well, for the original or for Zero?
Maybe.
For 02.
Oh, 02. Because Zero was like £8.
Oh, I was talking about the first one.
It's like
really?
like £88. Well,
what
it was
is
for me.
loading on my screen? I think too much is trying to load on this dumb website right now. It's taking forever just to get the price. Oh, it's $10.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not much.
Maybe I will just get it digitally and be happy with that. Because I feel like this is a game I never did play through the original one, but I feel like if I got Zero, with the slice of life stuff or the quality of life stuff makes it a little more accommodating and approachable. I feel like that would be a cool way to go, is play Zero in today's gaming age where I don't have much time to do anything.
Yeah. So yeah, for the UK audience, if you're there, Blastmaster and Blastmaster Zero and Blastmaster 02 were both £8.99 each. So not much at all, really. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like they're both $10 on the eShop. So there you go, people.
Lovely
So
stuff.
you would have, Graham, if you could go back in time to Little Graham, would you be like, hey, Little Graham, go and play this game, trust me. It'll change your life.
I reckon I would. I reckon this would be the turning point where I changed from a Sega nerd to a Nintendo fanboy.
Oh no.
Probably not
Nintendo
not that extreme, but that was a pretty cool game.
No.
Pretty good.
If Graham went back in time, he would tell him to play the Genesis one. He wouldn't tell him to
He
play
probably
Yeah,
would.
that's true, actually.
He probably would.
Yeah,
Don't
you
worry
see,
about the Genesis one; it sucks.
you see this NES version. We get the Genesis one. Yeah. What's a Genesis? I mean, a Mega Drive kid. We're English. Yeah.
The only thing that I think that if they could have added to this game that I would have made love it more if they added some form of like RPG element to it, like you could, because they do have some upgrading stuff, but like you could like level up your character and like assign him like new abilities, like maybe he could jump a little higher or something. I know it does that through items and stuff, but I'll tell you what, man, there's something about games where when I shoot them and there's like damage flying and then it tells me how much experience I get, like it does something. I get so excited for it. And I remember one of the first games that started doing that I saw was Symphony of the Night. And that was, for me, I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. Like it's kind of like an RPG, but you're actually fighting and doing it and controlling the character. And if I could go back in time, I'd be like, dude, add some of that in there, and you're gonna blow everybody's mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would check out if there was RPG elements. I'd be done. See ya.
It's not for everyone. But yeah, I think that rounds it up for Blaster Master. I think we all can agree it's still a very fun game, very good. Yeah, so pretty cool. So we move on to our picks of the week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So yeah, another section we're introducing this week is picks of the week. So we're going to talk about a couple of movies, TV shows, or games that we've been playing this week, and we'll let you guys know about it. Like, let you guys know where to download it, play it, or watch it if it's available on the streaming platform, for example. So yeah, so if you're stuck locked down in lockdown, you can have something to do for the next week. So, Chris, do you want to kick us off? Actually, no. Let's get Scotty to kick us off because you did start with the news. Scotty.
Fine.
So, Rachel and I tried to watch the show The Floor is Lava, and we could not deal with the arrogant, insufferable people that were the contestants on that show. We made it through 2 episodes.
For sure.
It is. Have you guys both seen that show at all?
No, but I used to love playing that game at school as a kid, so it sounds amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they create it's whatever, but can
you explain the concept though, in case like people listening haven't?
Yeah, Floor is Lava. If you played that as a child, you had to get through the living room or somewhere else in your house without touching the floor, like jumping on the furniture and different things that you could find around you. That's what Floor is Lava is. So it's basically another form of MXC, which was another form of American Gladiators. So it's one of those things. It's an obstacle course where they take random Joe Schmoes and Jane Schmoes out of the world. The episode that had 3 dudes in American flag tank tops, the triplets, Chris, if you remember that, they were just douchebags. They tried so hard to be funny, and they were total douchebags. And so we're like, screw this, because we had heard on different podcasts it was a good show and whatever, and gave it two episodes. Like, nope, cannot. Like, there's probably literally 10 minutes of actual footage of them going through obstacle courses because there's so much introduction of the dumb people and stuff. So it's whatever. So we were looking on Netflix though. We're like, there's got to be some other, like, we just want a fun, goofy show to watch in between other sitcoms and things. And lo and behold, they have the original from 1993 episodes of Supermarket Sweep. I don't know why it's on there, but we love it. It's so good to find these just like genuinely good people that they grab out of the crowds, like Price is Right and stuff. But the funniest part was the introduction, because I knew of this show existing. It might only be a US thing if you're not familiar with it, Graham. I'm not sure, but
we used to have Supermarket Sweep in the UK as well, like a UK version.
Okay, great.
But they actually had to sweep the store.
Yeah, we're very polite about it.
Sweep them up first.
But so our introduction, it's a collection. It's not like the whole series like they do. They'll grab old shows and put them together in a collection of a couple of seasons or something on Netflix. But no joke, we turn on the first episode, and the first thing that it's zooming in and out of the crowd and stuff, and it's like the first line that blasts from the host is, "Who's got the Doritos?" So we thought that was like the catchphrase of the show, but it's not. So but it's like, who's got the Doritos? So if you had a bag of Doritos in the crowd, that meant you're the first pair of contestants, and it's like, who's got the Tide Pods or whatever, and you run down and you're the next person. So we've continued. We said that to each other like all this weekend. Who's got the Doritos? Because that's kind of like the dumbest phrase that might come out of a sitcom.
You should just actually hide a bag of Doritos like behind your couch, and so next time she asks, you just lean over. I got them right here, baby.
Yeah. It was, but that show is fun, and it's also dated because they talk about the different brands that like aren't around anymore, and they have these weird segments before commercial breaks, like, did you know that this cow is whatever character for whatever else, and it's like, that's vaguely related to supermarkets, so, but, and then they come back with factoids and stuff, but it's a fun, goofy 20-minute show to watch and just remember like way simpler times, but
Yeah,
the original Supermarket Sweep, or Sweep. And the other thing I want to recommend, I started to talk to you guys about it, but I've noticed it's a 50-50 shot that people either are fans of the show, know exactly, and have been watching it forever, or they've never heard of it ever on YouTube. Good Mythical Morning is, if you haven't heard of it, it's basically two lifelong friends from North Carolina, and they just do a bunch of crazy stuff, from Will It Taco to Will It Super Milkshake to these different games.
Okay.
They have celebrities on. A favorite episode of ours is when they got Ben Schwartz on to guess
cool.
Craigslist prices of things. And Ben Schwartz is just fun. But another great one is when they had Jack Black on, and they would do Christmas carols in different genres. So of course Jack Black had to do the metal version of Oh Holy Night,
That sounds
and things
awesome.
like that. I'll link with this picks that we have, this new feature. I'll link certain things that people can check out in the podcast description. So I'll put in an episode that Rachel actually got me into them, and she uses this episode to get other people into because it's so ridiculous and fun. But they're just very upbeat and like genuine guys. Like, they're Southern boys, so they've talked about how much they appreciate all their stuff and all their fame that they've had. And some of the things they do is just ridiculous. And they're two dads now, so a lot of times it's like, oh god, classic dad moment. A couple of episodes and things like that. But yeah, Good Mythical Morning is another just upbeat, fun, good time, and each of their episodes is like 15 minutes, so you could watch the episode of the day and not take up a lot of your time, or go down a rabbit hole like we've done before. But yeah, those are my
Nice.
picks. Supermarket Sweep, hot take on that, it's a good show, and then Good Mythical Morning.
Brilliant. Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
What are you, my friends? What are your picks of the week?
So Odin came to me, like, it was earlier in the week. He was like, hey Dad, I want to watch a Wolverine movie. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know there's at least a couple of those. But then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, if he's going to watch Wolverine, he'll definitely like the X-Men too. And so I started thinking, I was like, what if we try to watch them in like chronological order? Not in the order they were released, but in like the timeline. And let's see, like, if there's some information out there. I Googled it and I found this website that actually has them all already in order. So for those wondering, I'm going to read you the order real quick in which they were all done in chronological order. But I'll also tell you the year they were released. So the first one's X-Men First Class, which came out in 2011. So that was like showing, like, you know, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, who play Professor X and Magneto, basically their origin stories, and, you know, showing like other mutants and stuff like that. I just remember those dudes, man, they did such a good job playing those characters. It's amazing. So I love watching those. The next one is X-Men Days of Future Past. And so far we've seen First Class, we've watched Days of Future Past. That came out in 2014. Then the next one is X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was actually 2009. And that's that one's panned and considered one of the worst superhero movies. You know, like, obviously, that was the first movie that had Ryan Reynolds as that weird Deadpool character. I think he actually showed up in Days of Future Past. But he was the really just cringy, because it was Weapon 11, I think is what they called him in that one. But they were basically going around stealing all of the superheroes' like powers, but it was like they would just like it looked like they would take their blood or something. They'd have a syringe and then they would just inject it into Ryan Reynolds, and at the end he became this like really terrible version of
Because
like
he was a Deadpool.
yep.
It was
Oh.
bullshit that they went with that name like full on.
Yeah, it was bad. And the thing I have to say, this movie was not as bad watching it this time around that I remember it being. It's still not good at all, but I remembered hating this movie, and I didn't hate it as much watching this one. The one thing that still gets me though is I don't like how they cast Sabretooth. Because in the comics, like Sabretooth is huge badass that was like he was like 2 times as big as Wolverine, and he just was awesome. And they ended up casting the guy who played Cotton Weary in Scream, and he's just not cool. Like his claws were just like these like big like dinky little claws that he used to like.
Oh yeah, that is him. I've not heard of him from that movie, but yeah.
And the way he runs, like they have him on like wires, it looks like, and so they're pulling him around, and he's just like running on like a dog, and it's just like, what the? This is so stupid.
It leads to like the honest logic behind it. This was before Marvel movies were a thing. The X-Men movies, it was proof that they went with the name before the skills. Because some of the Marvel movies have unknown names, but they're definitely better actors than some of the bigger names in some of the films. So like they went that route instead of going with the talent, you know?
Yeah. And he did a fine job, I guess, but it's just he didn't really work with in that one. I don't think, but yeah. So Wolverines, we watched that a couple of days ago, and then today we watched X-Men Apocalypse, which was released in 2016, and I hadn't watched it all. I'd seen a little bit of maybe like a third of the way through, so this was the first time actually sitting through and watching it, and I was actually pretty impressed. Like this movie's got awesome special effects in it. Like there's a scene towards the end when Magneto he's basically so overpowered in this because Apocalypse helps him magnify his power, I guess, but he's literally at the end like pulling all the metal from the earth, and like it's all, and like cities are just fucking going to shit. He's pulling out like wreckage underwater and like pulling out minerals from the ground, and I'm just like, what is this? Like there's like I've never seen anything. The only equivalent I can think of is like when they started doing that with these those Star Wars like video games. It was the one where you're like Vader's apprentice or whatever, Star Killer, and he can pull down fucking like these giant Star Destroyers, and he's just like using the force and going around. It's like, okay, there's got to be limits to this, because if you don't, it just becomes silly. And I feel like that's what was happening with Magneto in this one. But overall, I thought it was actually a pretty decent movie. It like there's I hated how the makeup and costume for Apocalypse looked. It was just terrible. I wish they went with like because if you go back and look, there is some like early test footage and stuff done of an actual alternate version of Apocalypse, and it looked more like what he did in the comic books.
Okay.
And he was awesome. I wish they would have went with that. And so that's where we stopped at as far as like where we're in our progress. So I'll just list down the rest of them and throw it to you, Graham. So after this one, it was actually Dark Phoenix. And that came out last year, apparently. I didn't watch that one.
Apparently is the correct reaction.
Yeah. I saw that on I think I saw that on the plane going to see you guys in America for the Dreamcast Marathon last year.
Oh, nice.
Was it any good?
I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite of the lots, but yeah, I didn't think it was a terrible movie. I watched it. I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. It's enjoyable enough. It's And
I totally forgot that the guy from Ready Player One plays Cyclops in these movies. I completely forgot. I was like, hey, that's the dude from it's Wade from that movie. So yeah, Dark Phoenix 2019. Then it was the original X-Men, which was like started this whole thing off back in 2000. And then X2, 2003, X-Men Last Stand, 2006. And this is when we're finally doing some more jumping around, because the next one after Last Stand was actually Wolverine, the X-Men Origins Wolverine. So after,
it's just called the Wolverine.
so X-Men Origins Wolverine came out in 2009.
Right.
That was the one that was released after X-Men Last Stand in theaters. Like when we're just talking about release dates,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
the
So-
Wolverine, from
I
a
don't think
chronological
I-
standpoint, I know this is probably getting confusing, so I apologize.
Uh,
X-Men Last Stand, from a chronological story standpoint, comes, and then the Wolverine comes after that. But it didn't release after that. And then after you get through that, then you get the Deadpool movies, and then Logan. So I don't think I'm going to show him Deadpool.
yeah.
But,
that was-
yeah.
I'm
I don't think
going
we'd
to
miss
watch
anything
before I
plot-wise.
show it to him. I may see about the Deadpool 2, the PG-13 version, where they edit out a lot
that
of.
exists?
Oh, you haven't heard about that? It's amazing.
No.
They basically imagine. Are you a fan of The Princess Bride?
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's not?
Okay. It's amazing. So what they did is they went in and edited it for a PG-13 rating, but they also did all this additional shots of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and they got Fred Savage, and they recreated his bedroom, and
Oh.
just like the beginning
Oh,
of the movie,
I knew
Deadpool
about that.
kidnaps him, tapes him to the bed, and makes it and like reads this story to him.
I need to
And
see
so they
this.
cut back
I
and
need to
forth
see this.
throughout the movie, just like they do in Princess Bride.
Oh my
but
god.
it's Deadpool talking to Fred Savage. It's so
Sounds-
hilarious.
I need to see that.
Right.
It's
I've
That's
heard about that.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
Oh
so
very
my
good.
god.
I'm not, but I'm gonna have to watch it before,
Yeah.
because I try to obviously those first two Deadpool movies are way
They're,
out of
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
rated
see.
R for a reason.
exactly. So I'm not gonna let them watch those. So I'll see if the PG-13 one is okay-ish, but I'm not too sure.
I don't want to give anything away for anyone who hasn't seen Deadpool 2, but am I correct in thinking that in the end credits they actually flash back to X-Men Origins Wolverine for one bit in the end credits or something?
Probably.
I can't
Maybe.
remember. I can't remember.
Okay,
what happened.
I feel like it ties into that because they made a big joke about him playing Deadpool.
Oh yes,
in that.
yes.
and they
You're
said-
right.
yeah,
Yes, I know what
the
you're
flash-
talking about now. They do.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really want to give it away or anything, but there's just like a couple of funny in jokes and stuff about that. I just really enjoyed. So I
And then
wonder
the
if-
last one is Logan, which came out in 2017. But that's like the last
right.
of those movies, and I love that movie. It's so good.
Oh, you've already seen it. Okay, good. I was gonna say that it's one of my favorite superhero movies, but I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid that I'd hype it up too much for you. So
No, I loved it. This was
Yeah.
finally, because for me, I've never been a big fan of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Wolverine
Yeah.
was growing up. He was my favorite superhero. Like I loved Wolverine, and I think he has the look of him, but just
Right.
the grittiness and just like the
Yeah.
I don't know, it's missing. He hasn't nailed Wolverine's personality, and I've always
Interesting.
wanted that.
he's too likable, basically.
He just seems like in all of his movies, like he's just getting his ass kicked like most of the time.
Right.
But Logan was the one where the movie where I'm like, okay, Hugh Jackman, you sold me. Like you,
Yeah.
this
Finally.
is the perfect. This is the Logan that I wanted like forever, and I finally got it.
Yeah.
And I watched that one in theaters, and I was just blown away. I was like, holy crap, this is so good. I love everything about that movie. And that's another one I don't know if I'm going to let Odin watch because from what I remember,
It gets intense.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
really intense. Couple of, I'd say, quite scary bits for younger viewers in that. I'd say,
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, that's
so-
pretty cool.
I mean, at the
So,
rate
that's what I'm working
yeah,
with.
at the rate you're going, he might be 13 by the time you get to Logan, so it might be okay. Who knows?
We watched 4 of these movies in a week,
Okay,
so
And I have no idea.
we're going through them at a pretty good clip. Like we're watching
Yeah.
maybe one movie every couple days. Like we're finishing
Okay.
them. So.
well, that's cool. Cool.
So yeah, that's what I've been. So maybe by next episode, I'll hopefully have gotten close to finishing most of these, and I can give some more thoughts on the whole grander saga, I guess, of Sony's X-Men collection of movies that they did.
Nice. So for me, a couple of things. That, have you guys ever seen or heard of a movie called Cock Blockers?
Read it quickly and I thought it said Clock Stoppers, so that's a different movie.
That's a very different movie, yeah.
This is the one John Cena, right?
Yeah, it's got John Cena, it's got Leslie Mann, John Cena, and Ike Barinholtz, who's been in quite a few movies, but he's one of those actors who's in a lot of things, but you don't really know him, I guess. I can't really, off the top of my head, I actually can't remember the movies he's in now, which is not good. But I just came across this, it's on Netflix at the moment in the UK, and I came across it the other day. I thought, oh, I'll just give it a try. I fancied a comedy. I thought it was really good. It's like one of those. It's kind of a teen movie about coming of age teenagers who want to have sex. Basically, it's these three high school girls who want to have sex. They make a sex pact basically that by prom or on prom, they're all going to have sex with their boyfriends, or they'll find a boyfriend to have sex with. But the movie's mostly from the parents. So like they got Leslie Mann, John Cena, and Ike Barinholtz. They are the parents of these three friends at the school, and they're basically trying to track down their daughters on prom night to try and stop them from going through this pact. I thought it was just really funny. There's like a lot of little fun antics going on. Their characters I thought were really good. Like Ike Barinholtz, he plays this almost, it's not quite a estranged father, but him and his partner have divorced, so he's trying to be the cool dad for his daughter. He's like, no, you should just let the kids do what they want and stuff, they're kind of like trying to be more relaxed and chilled about everything, like, yeah, the girls will be girls, and Leslie Mann's like this panicked mother, sort of like, oh my god, we can't do this, like, no, and John Cena's kind of like the tough badass dad who's like, yeah, we've got to stop this. So they're trying to do this. The other guy's like kind of like just let them do what they want, but he wants to be there with them because he's not very well liked by anybody. So he's trying to be their friend, but also trying to be cool for his daughter and stuff. You kind of have to watch it, I guess. I'm not saying it's like the best movie ever or anything, but it's a very fun movie. I thought it's one of those sort of ones you can watch and enjoy. I don't think there's anything too crude in it. Maybe not one for really young kids, but there's one you can enjoy with your partner or just friends and stuff, I think. And yeah, I thought it was it's just a fun movie, really.
I'm surprised they got away with the name.
Well,
yeah.
So on the box art, it just has a picture of a cockerel and then blockers. It doesn't say the words at all. So
Okay.
I'm guessing in the US, that's how they got away with it. In the UK, that wouldn't matter at all. Like,
I'm not going to Google that.
So yeah, have you guys seen this at all, or?
No.
No. Okay. Well, if it's on Netflix in America, maybe give it a try if you can. In the UK,
I was about to try to find that out, but I'm not going to Google that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then the last thing is a game that I've been playing recently. It's available on PS4, Switch, PC, and Xbox One, but it's actually part of the Xbox and PC Game Pass at the moment. So if you're subscribing to Game Pass or Xbox Ultimate, you can play this at the moment. It's called Deliver Us the Moon, and it's a combination of first person and third person kind of puzzle game. And the whole thing is it's set in the semi-distant future. Something's happened to Earth's resources and stuff, and we ran out of energy. But they did this thing. They went up to the moon. They created this device which uses microwaves or something to transmit energy back down to Earth, and so the Earth sort of got reboost of rejuvenization. Let's try and get the words out correctly. Rejuvenization of all their energy sources, and it was all clocking on. And then something goes wrong; it all just cuts off, and mostly the Earth starts to become like a barren wasteland, almost like people are struggling to survive. And it's your task to you're part of this sort of NASA's fallen, NASA's long gone and stuff. There's this other space agency who's kind of cobbled together the last energy sources they can to try and get someone back to fly back up to the moon and find out what the hell happened. So you basically, the start of the game is you have to go into the ship and go to the countdown launch before this storm hits, because if the storm hits, it's all over basically. You won't be able to save the Earth. And it's really cool. Like I played a bit of the game. There's not any action in terms of enemies or anything. I'm not sure if there will be, but you're sort of solving puzzles, especially like first person, like flicking switches. Like when you get onto the spacecraft, you actually have to physically flick switches in a certain order to get the spacecraft to launch, which I thought was kind of cool. And when you go up into space, You go up to like a space station to begin with, and there's zero gravity, so you're actually moving around in zero gravity. You're able to spin around completely, and it's kind of a cool sensation. And there's certain puzzles you have to solve at certain points in zero gravity. And I've just been enjoying it. It's kind of like one of those games that's like a lot of air of mystery about it. So you're kind of going through uncharted things. You're trying to work out what's happened to the space station, what's happened to the moon. Like I've got to the point where I've come off the space station. I'm actually just on the moon now. And there's a vehicle driving bit, and it's actually like I was actually like, kind of like, this is cool. You actually get to go in a vehicle and drive around the moon a bit. But I've only just literally got to that bit, so I haven't actually driven that far. But it says there's a few. Cool. Says there's a few different vehicle sections in it, so I'm interested, and yeah, I've just been really enjoying it. I'm really getting into these kind of games where it's not all action and stuff. It's more, a bit slower pace. Although there's been a couple of intense moments. There's one bit where you're in zero gravity and you have to actually move really quickly. I won't ruin that for anyone who wants to play it, because I thought it was a really good intense moment in the game. So yeah,
does
check
it have an overall? How's the atmosphere? No pun intended. Is it like a creepy game? Is it like just sci-fi fun stuff, or what?
It's more on the creepy side. I wouldn't say like it was not scary though. It's more sort of mysterious. Like you are around like an abandoned space station and stuff, and there are these there's these recordings of holographic scenes that have happened in real life. So it's almost like recording memories in a hologram form, and you can go back to where the hologram was originally recorded, like because they have these special suits or these little machines that can record holograms, and like you'll press play, and like basically you'll have like a weird holographic print of like people talking and stuff. So you find out a bit more of what's happening and stuff, and why stuff might have gone wrong up there. But yeah, and it's also more trying to fix some things so you can get to the different parts and stuff. If that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you played Soma?
I have not.
Okay, it sounds a lot like Soma, and that's one of my favorite games, so I might have to try this.
Soma.
Soma is creepy as hell, and
survival horror.
One
games.
Of my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's sci-fi. Instead of on the moon, it's underwater. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I will say there's no real survival horror in this at the moment that I've played. I don't know if things really change, but yeah, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Chris, have you heard or have you played this at all? Or
I'm downloading it now.
Okay.
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Cool.
Good job, Graham.
Excellent. I've got one person to download.
Did you say is it only on Steam? Is that what you said?
No. It's available on basically everything: Switch, PS4, PC, and Xbox One. But if you've got Game Pass, you can get it on Game Pass for PC or Xbox.
It's the first thing you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So many options for people out there.
I'll probably try that on the PS4.
Yeah. So that's it for me, and I think that's basically it for the show. I hope people have enjoyed it. We're going to be doing different feature discussions each week. We're going to keep to some of the same stuff, but do some different feature discussions each week to liven things up, I think, and talk about more broader topics. So, for Scotty, for housekeeping and stuff, are there any streams coming up that we should know about at all?
Always Phantasy Star Online 2 is on Mondays. Wednesday I missed out on the Knights anniversary, so I might play Knights instead of going through my Knuckles adventure. Lovely. I did miss out last week. I've actually taken a break the past 2 weeks because stuff's just come up the day of, so I apologize for anyone that was upset about that. But still had Thursday Night Throwdowns happening. But pretty much Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays are the streaming days, so just keep an eye on our Twitters and Twitch for that stuff.
Awesome. And Chris, any big news coming up or anything?
Well, I'm going to be getting a review copy of Panzer Paladin this week, and it actually, to relate it to Blaster Master, it's actually a lot like Blaster Master, where you're in this big mech. It's a scrolling thing, just like Blaster Master, but you can get out of the mech, and you're like a little guy running around. You can shoot. You have like a little sword. But there's just lots of awesome like combat combos and other things like that. It's a really cool looking game. I played it at PAX East. The demo was really good. I really enjoyed it. But they released a trailer a few weeks ago, showing that there's also like a pixel editor in the game where you can go into a menu and you could draw like on a little pixel thing your own weapons, and it will import it into the game. And so, say you wanted to create like, I don't know, a giant hot dog, and
It's not what I was thinking, but you're close.
Well, okay. You can make that, and then it'll actually be used as like a weapon in the game. And so,
That's cool.
I've never seen something like that on this style of game, where it's kind of like an 8-bit style, maybe 16-bit, I guess. But anyway, that's coming out like in a few days for review. So I'm hoping I might even be able to stream that later in the week. We'll see. I want to say the full release is like the 21st of July, so it's coming in here pretty quick.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, in less than 2 weeks. But outside of that, for those listening, if you haven't yet subscribed to Megavisions, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Megavisions, and you can choose between either a physical print version or a digital version of the magazine. And so we just released issue 9 a little over a month or so ago, and we still have copies of that. So if you haven't got one yet, we still have copies of issue 8 and 9 that you can buy on our website. You just go to megavisionsmag.com. There's a store link at the top. You can get that beautiful one that Scotty's showing right now. What's amazing, there's still people like we're selling orders like every day of these, so they're going actually pretty quick. I'd have to go back and look to see how many we have. I know it's getting low for issue 8. Issue 8's not going to be around for very much longer. I can't even guarantee we'll have any left once like conventions start rolling around. I'm not sure. We should maybe have issue 9, but that would really suck if we end up going to a convention and we have run out of copies to sell. So get them now before they're gone forever.
Issue 8's the one with Panzer Dragoon Saga, yeah? Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the best issue. Come on.
Yep.
So
awesome. No, that's brilliant.
More to come.
Good
We're going to be starting work on issue 10 here soon. We've already started work on it, but in terms of like the design and layout and stuff. So I'm kind of dreading that because I know it's going to be a ton of work on me. But
you're retired. You got nothing to do.
This is now your job, my friend.
Nothing to do. It's super. My life is so stress free these days. So
Cool.
For what it's worth, a quick update on Panzer Paladin. I looked on Steam here. It says planned release date July 21st. So maybe that.
That's soon.
Yeah. It's going to be out the 21st. I think you guys will like it, especially. What we should do is have a night where we all try to play it, and just see how we like it coming off of Blaster Master. I think that would be kind of a cool thing. So awesome. maybe not this next one, the one after that, we should all have had time to maybe play it if you guys are interested.
Yeah, for sure. And so if anyone is watching or listening and you are interested, you can show your support for Megavisions and subscribe to us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Megavisions. We have a physical magazine. We've also got the digital version. So yeah, if you're not into your physical stuff, you can get the digital version and read it on your favorite device straight away. And don't think there's much else to say.
While you're wearing a shirt. While you're wearing a Megavision shirt.
While you're wearing a Megavision... Oh, yes, of course. We're also selling T-shirts as well. Sorry, I forgot. No.
Smooth as butter.
Yeah, nice. Also, there's T-shirts around so you can show your support. You can tell your friends about it. You get the message out there because, that's the way to do things.
Where do they go to get those shirts, Graham?
Where do they go? Megavisions.com?
TeePublic.
TeePublic, I don't know.
It is, I think. I could be wrong. Give me like 5 seconds.
It is TeePublic. Sorry, for some reason, yes. If you go to TeePublic,
just go to tpublic.com, search Megavisions, and you'll find us.
Embarrassingly, I should know that because I uploaded a lot of the designs there.
And I should know that because I link it every week in the podcast description. But
Oh,
There you go, folks.
It's been a day.
We're up on
It's now
everything.
past midnight for me, so what can I say?
Jiminy Christmas! It's past
I'm
Chris's nap
I'm like a
time, as we've
gremlin.
heard. So we're just
I
gonna.
need to need to go to sleep.
All
Don't
right.
eat anything.
Yeah. Anyway, great stuff, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the show, and we'll catch you all next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Booty, booty, booty.